Banished from Earth, K-BillTV broadcasts from the intergalactic space studio on his never-ending mission to stream everything.
So welcome to the HDMIdfk podcast. I have with me an assorted group of idiots, myself included.
That's rude.
I'll stand by that.
But we got some new people in here for the second episode.
Such as me, Chromecha. But you could just call me Jack for short.
That was really smooth.
Speaking of smooth, hello, Jordan.
Hello there.
Hello, Jordan.
I'm Jordan, by the way. Yeah, that was not smooth.
Oh my god. But since you guys weren't on the last one, on the last one we talked about, because we wanted people to know all of us a little bit better. We talked about things that we liked, like video games, music, movies, and some other stuff like that.
Introduce ourselves like new school year kind of thing.
Yeah,
basically. Class, I want you to meet our new classmate, Jordan.
You're the new kid in the class.
Tell us a little about yourself.
I like log walks on the beach, and
That actually made me snort.
Hi, my name's Jack. My mom said I'm cool.
Oh my lord.
Well, I'm SoloShredSled, I think.
Yeah, I can link all your guys Twitch and YouTube or Twitter or whatever if you want me to.
Well, then again, my Twitch barely gets any use right now, so
That's fair.
Well,
I mean, you're
we
too
can decide
busy
that
moderating my chat.
that is very true.
Well, I'd say just if whatever it goes on, just put it in the description or something.
Yeah, I'm
Alright.
going to for sure. Whatever you guys want me to add. Any links, I'll do that.
Yeah,
Sounds good.
nothing wild. Just All right, I have a cat screaming to get in my room.
The cats.
Okay,
Yes,
we
my name is
also
Jack.
we
and
also
I
have John and
like
Pika
cats.
here with us from the last one.
I'm not here.
Okay, apparently Pika's not here either. Man, it's pretty quiet.
Damn it!
I also noticed, Pika, that you changed your name to put an X in front of it. Like the thing that Alyssa did on the last one with Zalissa, so that she wouldn't have to go first.
I just realized, Bill, that mine
That's
and
pretty
your
good.
name have ooh woo in our name.
Oh yeah, I'm keeping it.
Oh.
It's a Discord meme.
Crud.
Ooh,
Does this mean
what's
I have
this?
To Crew Woo Mecha or something?
No, you don't need to. We just did it one day because Derpy changed his name to Derpoo Woo, and then it was me, John, and Claire did the same thing to meme on him.
Just a big snowball effect.
Basically.
But
All right.
yeah, if we're going in alphabetical order, I will start first. My name is Jack, username Chromecha, and I love a lot of retro video games, mostly arcade action type stuff. My favorite genre is platformers, but I also really like scrolling shooters, fighting games, beat 'em ups, and, well, more platformers, I guess.
Basically, if you
really-
need any information on anything retro related, just ask
Jack's your
Jack.
guy.
He knows so much. Same thing with we mentioned this before the podcast started, but same thing with voice actors. You know a lot of voice actors by name.
That's exactly right. And as far as games go, my favorite one of all time is Ristar. And if I'm on the show more, that's probably going to come up a lot because, I like Ristar so much, he's the character that adorns my icon.
Yep. I haven't played Ristar yet, actually. I really want to play that game. But I feel like I want to save it because it's such a important game to you, and you're one of my closest friends, that I want to make sure that you are able to see my reactions to the game.
Well, that's very nice. But
Could-
yeah, I hope you get to play it sometime. And my cat is currently trying to sit on my lap as we do this.
So how many of us have cats?
Me,
I have cats. I have 3
I
cats.
know Bill has cats. I have 3 cats.
I don't have a
Jack has
cat.
cats. Well,
John, do you have any
get with the
pets, or do you,
program.
wait? Do you have a
Pika,
dog?
what do you got? Pika's got
I have a
like 4
dog and a
Pokemon.
turtle.
aw,
You have a turtle?
I'm glad you have a dog.
I've said this several times. I have a turtle, but
Oh,
everyone
and I
seems to
remember.
forget.
I forget. Turtle's not a very common pet.
It's a solid pet though. They live for like ever.
They're pretty cool. I mean, dang.
Excuse me.
Ooh.
Had a cheesesteak and some French fries before this.
Philadelphia. You know, you don't have to be all Philly all the time, Bill.
Well, it was a chicken cheesesteak, first of all. So I mean, it was kind of heathenish, but like, yeah.
Cheesesteak. I'm
Listen,
wondering
I
how
live in
many
South
people
Florida
are
and
angered by
I
saying
get
that.
chicken Phillies at seafood restaurants. So like, you want to talk about sacrilegious?
Oh my lord.
Are we still introducing ourselves, or what's going on?
I mean,
Yeah.
Pika, if you
Why
want to
don't you
like say
introduce
something,
yourself,
or
Jordan?
like,
Pika's take point.
take point, good sir.
I am Pika.
Pika.
You okay?
Oh my God.
You sound
My
nervous, man.
cat, my cat won't shut up.
It's all right. We're just chilling. Just a couple of epic gamers hanging out.
The good life.
A few, if you will. 5 is a few, right?
Yeah, that would.
Yeah.
I would say that's a few. That's
I think
definitely
3
more
to,
than a
3 to
couple.
5. I think 3 to 5 is a few.
Yeah. Once you get to 7, that's when it's a couple.
A
couple is
A
two.
couple. A couple is
Not
two.
like that
You
kind of
going
couple.
with?
The other
No,
couple.
a couple of like, oh, I've got a couple of those. Yeah, I have 2 of those. Like,
Oh, well then.
I feel
That's
like you
why
called
when
yourself
people are in a relationship, they call them a couple.
because it's
First
two.
stream, and I'm already making bad decisions.
But this is a recording,
it's
as
all-
I've
it's
said
all
several
semantics.
times.
can be edited out.
Again, bad
It won't be,
decisions.
but
But
it
will
can be.
Just spiraling down this rabbit hole.
Spiraling.
Just
I know,
spiraling. Yes.
spirals are how you keep the podcast going.
Yeah, my
What
whole
kind of
life is
weird
a downward
tangents can we get
spiral.
off on?
True.
Oh.
And could you be funny while being like super intelligent?
No, I can be very droll but
Well,
funny.
if you guys don't know, I am the premier internet funny man.
Obviously.
He sure is.
I thought you were the embodiment of Spyro.
I mean, I love
I mean,
Spyro.
Bill's my spirit animal.
Bill's a furry.
I'm not a furry.
Well, I stand by my previous
first of all,
statement then.
No,
what he's
he's
talking about is a dragon.
I've technically speaking, I've dated a furry, but I am not a furry. I thought that shit was weird.
Bill, you're gonna have to
Bill,
explain.
you're gonna have to elaborate
Yeah,
on
this
that.
is something
I-
that needs explanation.
actually
Welcome to
Bill's the
podcasts.
ultimate roast master.
I remember when my ex brought this up.
Remember her
She
beard.
was like, she was like very extremely embarrassed about something, and she wouldn't tell me like what. It was like she was trying to hide something from me, and I was very concerned. And
She
then
tells you to close your eyes, and then when
No.
you open them, she's wearing a
no,
fursuit.
she
werewolf
didn't.
mask or
She
something?
She didn't wear a fursuit. She just made like furry art. So
Oh.
like she was like, she sent me this message. She's
Not
just
even
like,
some gloves or
don't
maybe
judge
some
me, don't
ears?
judge me, please, for the love of God, don't judge me. And I'm like, what
Like
the
a-
fuck
like-
could you possibly? And then she sent me some like furry artwork, and then I went, you made this, didn't you? And
Was it
she was just
at
like,
least-
yeah, and I was like, this is
Then you
fucking
broke
weird,
up with
but
her.
this is fucking weird, but I'm okay with
I mean,
this,
was it
as long as you
was it
don't
a
throw
deal
me in
breaker?
the-
I would
well
think
made?
not.
It's the it would be a deal breaker if she was like, yeah, I pretend to be an animal or like dress up in a fursuit. I would have been like, nah,
if you
I'm
make
out, I'm
like
good.
if you make dolphin noises,
dolphin
Yeah.
noises.
Like if you're like, ah, I'm out.
Like the
The only
SpongeBob
time you make
censor?
those is if you're
Yes,
trying to
yes,
swear
the
in the
SpongeBob
SpongeBob
censor.
universe.
Oh, like this. Oh, the big horn.
Yes.
Or
Or yow, my awooga foot.
if she
What?
says cowabunga, I'm out. Also, she does a Ninja Turtle anything, I'm out. Like,
Or Bart Simpson, who said cowabunga like twice in his entire life.
fair enough, fair enough. Well,
Cowabunga, dude.
he was more of an I caramba. Like, I mean, well, okay, we could get really gross with this, but I'm just not gonna go any further on that one.
You know,
I mean,
he says
there's a
eat
lot of I
pants.
carambas that could happen during coitus.
Eat pan.
Oh,
Fucking eat pan. That's one of my favorite memes. It's just eat pan. For some reason, every time I see it, I just start dying of laughter. Hold on, I'm
man.
opening a Chrome
Every
tab just to
Every
look
time
up.
you
eat
say,
pan.
"Do you have any games on your phone?" I'm laughing. I don't know
What?
why. It's that you've said 40 times and it's still funny.
But
and it's
Jordan,
it's
do you have any
unnecessary.
games on your phone?
Exactly. It's just so good.
So one of the first things I see when I look up "eat pan" is this fucking someone
Eat my
made
shorts.
someone made the meme in Minecraft.
wow.
Hold on, you got. I'm going to link the image in the podcast chat so you guys can.
Oh,
see
why
this
didn't? Why
too.
wasn't I sharing stuff to the podcast thing?
Yeah, that would have probably
Crud.
helped.
Which way is this? The
but-
McRib one?
Yeah,
no,
I've
gone now.
already have all the links that you sent in the.
Oh no. Oh,
But
no.
here's the eat pant in Minecraft.
Oh, that's awesome. Well done.
It's
That's
so
pretty nice.
it's
I
just
don't know if it's gonna compare to this.
it's not just the pantaloons.
What is this 3D rendering?
Oh shit!
Is he
that's
doing?
killing me.
Is he like? What's that called? I don't know dances. What's it called? That little move. It looks like he's doing that move. Anyone know what I'm talking about?
I don't know what you're
Break
talking about
yourself
now.
apart and pretend you're Rayman move.
I was about to say, he looks like Rayman. Oh my lord! Digest the pantaloons.
Topic me, Bill.
Oh my god, that killed me. So, one of the first things we mentioned about the topics is like Switch ports and console ports.
That's right.
Because
I brought this one
Jack and I we both have the
That's Jack's.
Nintendo Switch. I
wheelhouse.
believe Pika has a Switch as well.
I would get fired from work if I had one.
Well, the thing is, yeah, I absolutely love the Switch.
I
It's probably one of my favorite consoles because it's one of the few where its main feature is less of a gimmick and more of a utility.
Yeah, I feel like taking the console around with you wherever you go and having it be able to just be docked to be able to be used.
Oh, is it online? Oh, I can hear myself.
Who's echoing? Speaker,
Yeah.
are you echoing?
I think so.
I think it might be. Hold on.
Can't be me. I'm wearing headphones.
So am I, but sometimes headphones. Jordan would know all about that.
yeah.
audio.
Oh wait.
Oh no, yeah. Talk to me about leaking audio.
Every
I'm
time
gonna
you hit your
message you.
soundboard, you just there you go.
Yep. There it is.
You can just hear it like it's like a speaker in the room, but it's actually your headphones.
It's in my ears. Like it's that bad. Like
Yeah.
When your kids mess with the soundboard at 3 in the morning.
yeah.
Oh boy, 3 a.m. Yeah.
So, yeah.
I
We're
was
talking
gonna
about, we're
mention.
talking about the Switch. Can you play online while you're out?
As
Like if
long
you're
as
riding the bus, can you play online?
as long as you have like a Wi-Fi connection, I believe.
Aren't there
But
some buses
Is
that
it
have
capable of
Wi-Fi connections?
5G, or like do you have to do a hotspot on your phone or something?
Probably
gotta
a
be a
hotspot.
hotspot.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't take a lot to run a game anymore.
I
Like-
think the only time you can run like the cable directly into the machine is when it's in the dock.
Yeah, there's an adapter
Oh,
that
yeah.
you put in in the USB slot, and it allows you to plug in an Ethernet cord. And I use that
Oh, you
sometimes.
have to have an
when I wanna-
adapter though.
Like, I use it when I want to ensure that I have the best online performance when playing
Yeah.
a furious game of Smash Bros. Or Crash Team Racing.
I wired my entire apartment through the attic so that my computer, my PlayStation, everything's hardwired. Like straight back to a port switch, straight back to the router. That's what I do for a living.
With my computer, I have like a 50-foot fucking Ethernet cord that goes from the basement up to the top floor where my room is.
Yeah, copper connection, baby. Nothing better.
It's because this computer didn't come with the like a Wi-Fi thing, and if I wanted it, it would have had to have been like USB, but I didn't want to do that. I'd rather have it hardwired. And
Yeah,
it's basically whenever you walk like up in the hallway, like right outside my bedroom door, the wire will literally be sitting there, but it's like duct taped to the floor.
True.
Hopefully it doesn't get crunched by the door or something.
It's the most ghetto internet setup I've ever seen, but it works, so I don't give a shit.
As long as you have wired connection in some way, because you want only the best speeds.
Yeah, and like the cord runs through like under my door and then around the wall.
If it's not wired. Oh yeah, the most unreliable thing. Dude, MacBooks come with no Ethernet port, and that's disgusting to me.
Well, that's because
Do you
it's
need
an
a
Apple
USB
product.
adapter for that as well?
Probably.
What?
A USB adapter for Ethernet.
Oh yeah. No, I'm sure you could, but I mean, like, why would you not have an Ethernet? I don't know.
Oh yeah, on a computer of all things. No Ethernet on a computer is the dumbest
the phones, I get it, but like, come on.
Yeah, I am also glad to have the Ethernet port for the Switch because one of these days I do want to try games that support LAN. I just think it's a really cool feature, and it seems like we're almost bringing LAN play back in a sense, because we miss those days when you just bring 5 PlayStation 2s together and play a game.
I certainly miss those days.
Their internet online sucked, but if you could all link them, oh man, it was great. Remember that
playing Star Wars Battlefront 2?
Remember the picture? Remember the picture of the guy duct taped to the ceiling?
Oh yeah, where they were playing Counter-Strike.
That was the best.
That was excellent. I think my favorite PS2 LAN game has to be Time Splitters 2. I know there are people who say Future Perfect is the better game, but I don't own it yet, and apparently it's going up in price. But Time Splitters 2 is fantastic.
If anyone hears my microphone in the background with some weird shit, it's probably the fact that I'm on my Switch to see, do I have any Switch ports installed? The only one that I have is the World Ends With You Final Remix port.
I have a picture for Pika in the...
oh my lord!
That, right? I have all these live action Pokemon pictures.
Pika, that should be your new profile picture.
They're sick.
Dang, that one is like, wow.
Right? Like
Detective Pikachu Unleashed.
Dude, like
oh wait, I'm big stupid.
Sick.
I also have Dark Souls Remastered on my Switch.
Oh, have fun hitting walls with your sword.
Yeah, I can't play that. I can't play that with the Joy-Cons.
I hope you like to look at foliage while you get killed.
Yeah, there's some pretty good Switch ports. It's just you notice that.
I'm sure there's
so
plenty.
most of the time when they skimp out on something, it's either frame rate, graphics, or the sound is what would that be like?
Compressed?
Compressed, yes, thank you. I was on the tip of my tongue. But yeah, the sound on Dark Souls is very compressed, for example.
Really?
But
it seems like I don't see why that would be an issue.
It's only noticeable when you put on headphones.
I think the reason they
But it's not even
was,
that bad.
What's it called? They wanted to fit it on a smaller cartridge, and
well, that's the thing. Yeah, you're like, how big is a Switch game?
Well, there can be cartridge sizes 1 gigabyte, 2 gigabytes, 4 gigabytes, 8 gigabytes, and only in really extreme cases will there be a 16 gig cart. I think
16 gigs though isn't really a lot for a modern game, so I can kind of understand.
I think I remember there's also a 32 gig cart, which the only one that's using it so far is the port of Witcher 3.
That's the thing. If you can make an SS or an SD card hold 64 gigs. Why can a Switch game not
Because it's a
be
similar.
as not be as big? It's a hardware capability issue, not a memory issue.
They say they are making 64 gig carts, but the thing is, even if they have a lot of these carts, many
But can a
developers,
Switch run that with the memory a Switch has?
yeah, it's just, you got to load stuff more, and you might just
Yeah.
get a lot more loading times.
Because even though
Fair
the
enough.
Switch isn't
But
like
still,
as
that's
powerful.
the cost of portability. You can be outdoors. You can
Well,
do
yeah,
whatever.
it's
That's,
the same thing with
Yeah.
laptops.
There's some give and take there, but I think the Switch is awesome. If I had one, I would get fired. I swear to God.
The Switch,
Yeah.
Like-
honestly, one of my favorite consoles of like this generation, and I really hope that other consoles like follow in the footsteps of the portability thing, because it's really like
Yeah.
Fantastic.
it's really like almost
Dude,
addicting to be able to take it anywhere you want.
Yeah.
And it fits in my fucking pocket.
But yeah,
Like,
I remember
With the
playing my
Joy-Cons
Game Boy in the
attached.
car.
like a while back, I went on vacation somewhere. It had Wi-Fi, and sometimes vacation's good, but sometimes you just want to sit back, chill after a while. And I had my Switch and my copy of Crash Team Racing, and getting to play that
Just
right
hang
there,
out.
cozied up in this otherwise unfamiliar area, was a really cool feeling. And that was one of the moments where I felt like I was really understanding the appeal of the Switch, which, I've had it for 2 years now and thought it was still a good console, but I think this was me like really using it
To its
for its
potential.
intended. Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't
Exactly.
even had my Switch for a year at this point, because I got it on New Year's Eve. And
Do you play it a lot though?
I actually do. I probably play it almost as much as my PlayStation,
Yeah.
because of
pretty impressive.
mostly because of games like Mario Maker and Mario Kart.
See,
I
it
have
plays
some other
Nintendo
ones,
games
like-
fantastically.
Like Mario Odyssey, Smash Bros.
It's almost like they planned it that way.
I have Mario and Rabbids
so-
Kingdom Battle, which is probably one of my favorite games on the system. I have Breath of the Wild, not really huge. There's
Still
so many-
impressive.
There's so many good games on the Switch. It's just that a lot of the times for ports, it always feels like they're skimping out on something, even more so than like other console ports.
Well, but it's it's a lot less than they have to skimp out on like a mobile game.
Oh,
Yeah.
definitely, for sure.
Right.
Oh my
Still-
goodness.
Like,
On
remember
my
the
end-
PSP? Remember how ahead of its time the PSP was? It's basically
Yeah,
the
that thing
PlayStation
was pretty
Switch.
good.
That thing was pretty
Basically, yeah, it was the PS2 in your pocket. It's
Yeah.
almost the same amount of power in your pocket.
Good.
But
Yeah, it was actually pretty good.
I
and
think one of
I'd
my
say
it was
friends
just
had
ahead of its time.
GTA. They had GTA San Andreas.
Mega
Yeah,
Man
I was
powered up.
playing-
PSP.
I
I was
love that
playing
one.
Bomberman. I was playing ATV off something. I don't know.
Blazing Trails.
Probably.
I think that was a pack-in for me. So I had that. I had Castlevania Dracula X Chronicles, which is a pretty good remake of Rondo of Blood. And it also has Symphony of the Night, even though they changed the voice acting. The Metroidvania gameplay is still there in good, pristine quality.
Everything looked good on the PSP.
Yeah, and then with the PS Vita, I mean, I really wanted a Vita mostly so that you could play
I
like
still wanted a Vita. Like now, I'm like, but
Yeah,
now,
like-
now I'm like, if I'm gonna get a Vita, I'm just gonna get a Switch. I mean,
I
why wouldn't you?
really wanted a Vita mostly so that you could play like the digital PS1 games on your Vita. Because
True, that is
portable
a very
PlayStation
enticing-
games
yes.
it's super enticing, but it's just there's not very many games outside of that I would buy, and so the price for the Vita is just
A lot.
just a little too high for what I
No,
would
it
want
is.
to
And
use it for.
you can't find them anymore either. Like, I mean, like,
Yeah, like I still think used ones go for well over like $100, close to $200.
Yeah,
Even though
like,
the
I'm
game
not-
I have no
itself is
idea.
like $250 or something. Still,
I would
Yeah,
like.
I'm gonna
I-
look this up. Actually, I'm gonna go on Amazon and see.
I'd
what the
rather have a
price is
Switch
on.
at this point, though. Like,
Yeah. And most of the
It's not
titles
enough
that were
games.
exclusives on the Vita got ported. I think the only
Yeah.
one I still want that hasn't been released anywhere else is Muramasa Rebirth.
Yeah, like if
Which
you can
it
make The
sells
Last of Us
really
playable on a PS Vita, I'll buy a PS Vita. Other than
Dude,
that,
seriously.
like,
I fully agree with that one.
I mean, it would take a lot of technical work, but if anyone can do it, it's Naughty Dog.
yeah, but I mean, like that's what it would take to make the PS Vita worth it nowadays. The Switch has so many games. Like,
Yeah. It may have probably the biggest library I know of out of any Nintendo console.
yeah, no, it
'Cause
absolutely does, except for
now you
Game Boy Color and
And
Game Boy
then
Pocket and all that. Game
think
Boy Advance
about
had a lot.
you even think
but-
about the NES and SNES games that are now available to play.
Yeah,
Yeah, like I've been playing some of those, and Stunt Race FX,
Sorry
that
about my
game
phone.
is really cool.
That's fine.
It's got like one of the worst frame rates ever, and yet it's just so charming.
yeah.
Well, I'm
I
gonna
mean,
look at the
I'd-
prices for the PS Vita.
What's
Holy
funny is I
shit.
never paid attention to frame rates because I mean, I was just like, I went from Game Boy Color to PS2, and then it was just like, did like the PC right here. This is the first PC I've ever had.
Yeah. I mean,
So
when I was
I'm
younger,
specifically
I
looking at
noticed.
Vita prices on Amazon.
Yeah,
Uh-oh.
Just
Expensive?
Amazon. It's more expensive than the Switch.
are they all used?
What?
What?
Seriously?
Yes.
More
I would
expensive?
look on eBay. It'll probably be a drastic
That's-
difference.
Well, yeah, but
That's
I'm just
bananas.
looking at
That's bananas.
the
Is it because they're
the
discontinued
price
or
by
something, and they're
Sony
just getting
itself.
jacked up?
Like a brand new one is $387, but if you
That's-
get a used one, it's $135.
You're
But like
wait. New PS Vita. Or are we talking about Switch? 300.
a new PS Vita, the Switch is $300, but a
And
new
then
PS
Vita's
Vita,
275.
and it's 387.
What?
87 more.
It's like
Yes.
10 years older.
It's not even 10 years older. It's literally
Like, the
it
funny
came out in
thing,
2014.
I think they are still making a few new PS Vita cartridges, mostly by limited run games, and they're a great
I mean,
or they're a great publisher. But it's just
But-
so weird.
still,
seeing
like
They-
I
PS
would
Vita
like
go
to
They don't
buy
have
a
the
price.
Vita.
library. They don't have the library to charge that much.
Exactly.
Like-
There's nothing on that fucking thing. But I
That's
still
like Sony
want one.
fanboy. That's all. Yeah, exactly. That's the only.
If I'm really gonna want one, I'll probably get one used at like GameStop or something. But there's no fucking way.
I know
Me
my
too.
brother's PSP is sitting in his room at my dad's house still, and I'm gonna go jack that shit.
Another reason I would want a Vita, honestly, is to jailbreak it and just run as many emulators as possible.
True.
Because that
Getting to
like
play stuff like that is great.
I'm sad that it was ahead of its time. Like, it could have competed with the Switch so hard if they would have waited on that.
I don't even think it's that. It's more of when Sony came out with the Vita, they just didn't give a shit about what was on it when it launched
That is
what
true.
came out after it launched.
And
they were
like,
just
"Look
banking
what
on
this
the
thing's
fact that-
capable of. We have no games that test the capabilities of it." Sorry.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like,
And like
It's
some of the
kind of
games,
how I felt about the
unfortunately-
DS, because a lot of the games on the DS just didn't appeal to me.
I hated
Well,
the DS.
later
So
on.
I
the
never
DS got
really-
some real gems.
But
I really hated
I
it
never
'cause I didn't have
really
an LED screen on my-
liked it. Regardless, like
Yeah.
I've never been huge on Nintendo until I got my Switch. Actually,
Yeah.
And then
No,
everything changed for the better.
dude, everything changed in the Fire
see-
Nation attack.
I'm still not super crazy about Nintendo or anything, just because I liked I mean, apart from now any game that will actually run on my PC, but like I liked the games that had the good graphics that like looked like realistic and all that. Like, I never really got into all that like cartoony kind of. I played a lot of driving games.
That's definitely something that the PlayStation and the Xbox are known for, especially when
Yeah.
compared to
But
the
in
That's the thing,
fairness,
Switch.
I'd
Well,
say I'm
Switch-
kind of different in the fact that I love cartoony games, mostly just because it's cool getting to see graphics that aren't like real life.
But with mechanics that work really well. Like, it's
Yeah.
I agree. Because after getting a PC, I'm like, wow, okay, this game doesn't look like incredibly real, but it is fun. Like even like Realm or something like that, even Hot Lava, all that stuff. Like it's not like it
Dude,
looks
Hot
amazing, but
Lava
it's
is a
fun.
great game. It's
We do
really
need to
fun.
play that again.
Yeah,
We
but
definitely do.
mostly, I want to see more Unreal 4 game developers try and make stuff with cartoony graphics because I think they could push that really, really far if they wanted to.
Yeah.
But
But
yeah,
Like
as-
a game that I feel does really well with like cartoonish or like comic book like graphics is Borderlands. Like the whole series
oh yeah,
looks
Oh,
that one's
amazing.
incredible.
it almost
I
looks
just-
2D, but you can tell it's 3D. It's very nice.
I just haven't played
really,
the third
really
game yet.
good.
So,
It's just they have an outline. Everything has an outline, which just is just a weird aesthetic to the eye, but it's so good looking.
Honestly, it makes cosplays all the more interesting to see how people try and mimic
you
that
seen
style.
Have you
Dude,
seen
there's
some of the
so many-
cosplays?
there are so
I
many
have
good
Borderlands, they are
cosplays.
good.
They're amazing. Just seeing all the different strokes painted on, it's like,
Yeah.
wow, that is fantastic.
The cosplay subreddits, there's a bunch of them, but dude, some of these cosplayers put in work to make these look really good. Some of them are just like, I put on a bikini and stuff, but like a lot of them actually put in like serious work. Like there was
Especially
a
in the makeup side, you know.
oh yeah, and a lot
Yeah.
of Game of Thrones. Like there was a Queen Marjorie or whatever, and it looked like it was the Game of Thrones actress. I was like, how the hell did you do that?
Did you
Like-
secretly control her or something? Like
Yeah, like
Mind
it looked
Snatcher or
like
something?
some kind of Photoshop or something like that, and it was just like perfect. And she was like, "Yeah, no, I did it correctly. Put a lot of time into that. Very impressive."
what it
Cosplaying
is.
is pretty interesting, I think.
Yeah,
Yeah. If you want to
Cosplay-
make something good, then you just have to put in the time and effort, know your resources, and do it right. It's the same principle as Switch ports.
Bringing it all back around.
comes full circle.
Hey, I had to make some kind of segue. Yeah. But I guess with me,
that's good.
the fact that I play specific kinds of games means that I'm better, not better, because I don't want to sound greedy, but I know what kind of games I like, and I can choose the Switch ports that I feel don't have to sacrifice as much. And that's usually in the indie department. Like, there's a couple Switch games that are basically perfect. Stuff like the first Guacamelee or Wonder Boy the Dragon's Trap, Iconoclasts, like, where basically due to the way they look or are designed, playing the Switch is basically no different than playing on any other system, and it's nice to see how they run. Like, you have the pixel art games like Iconoclasts, but even seeing something with high quality 2D like Wonder Boy the Dragon's Trap is just stunning.
Or even
but can it run NAC too?
Neck 2,
Neck
son of
two,
a
baby.
Neck 2, baby. Oh man.
Switch, but you don't have enough
Hey,
power.
congrats to
handle the
Donkey for
might
getting married,
of
by the way.
Ice Knack.
Ice snack. You fuck.
Ice is nice.
Knack 2.
He has 2 moves and a jump. Ugh. All right.
But like if you can if you can make it like a certain kind of game that's not very graphically intensive,
Well, that's the thing. 30 frames a second on a 2D platformer looks really good.
but think about
Doesn't
60
take a lot
frames
of
per
hardware to
second.
run that. Well, 60 frames is a little overkill.
Well,
Yeah, but
then
for
again,
Especially
for
in a 2D
2D,
sense.
that's still very possible,
But-
even on the Switch.
yeah.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
Wonder Boy ran at that frame rate. SteamWorld Dig 2 ran at that frame rate.
So
like-
you got 60 on the Switch?
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's plenty of
I'm
60
surprised- I'm
FPS
sup-
games.
I'm
Actually,
surprised that the Switch can actually push 60. Dude, the original PS4 could not push 60.
for
Yeah, well,
for the games
anything.
for certain games that were being made for it. We're like
No, for anything. It was 30 frames.
I just well, I mean, you look at The Last of Us
me.
Remastered that runs at 60.
yeah.
Oh, well, now, like, I'm on my Pro, not on a regular one.
It runs on the set 60 on my regular one.
Yeah, I thought it was just about the same graphics as on PS3, which, to be
Yeah,
fair,
the
looked
only difference
excellent.
between the Pro
well,
and the regular...
It's remastered, so it's this just tightened up, sharpened up. The
Well,
water
yeah.
looks nicer.
Did
the
the
water looks
Pro
nicer.
get a
Dun, dun,
specific
dun.
patch to enhance The Last of Us Remastered?
Wait,
so that
repeat
you
that?
can-
I'm sorry.
Did the PS4 Pro get a like special patch for Last of Us Remastered so that it could
I'm
take
pretty
better
No, I don't
advantage?
think so.
I thought it was a
Now,
graphical, like
I
a
know that it's-
resolution thing, not
Well, no. You
anything
can
else.
choose because the PS4 Pro can do it's not a real 4K, but it's like checkerboard 4K. But you can set it to either run 4K at 30 frames or as many frames as it can, and it looks like shit unless you're standing still. Like I tested with God of War, Horizon Zero Dawn, like everything. When you put it on performance mode, it's in 1080p, but it plays at 60 frames a second or more, and everything looks amazing. Far away stuff doesn't have any, like it's not. It like half the time in the 4K version, it looks like just like a 2D model of a pterodactyl way off in the distance in Monster Hunter. You're just like, what is that thing flapping in a strobe light? Like, but
And then again, I haven't had much experience looking at what checkerboard 4K is like.
it's not
I-
great.
It
But it's
really
nice when you're
isn't.
standing
It
still. When you're standing
really
still, it
isn't.
looks amazing. Kratos, like God of War in 4K, when you're standing still, looks incredible. When you're running or moving at all, which means playing the game, it looks terrible.
But
Eh,
because
I
it's
guess
not,
it's
because
just the
it's not
modern version of
actually
feature racing.
4K.
Yeah, so but 1080p is so clear already. If you put it on performance mode, now you just upped your frame rate.
Yeah,
by,
the
like,
frame rate,
double.
frame rate over resolution every day for me.
Agreed. 60 FPS is a glorious target.
Dude,
Oh yeah.
60 FPS or nothing, especially if I'm on PC.
Well, I
man.
mean, my PC, the max my monitor can handle is 75. So
The max my monitor can handle is 144.
well,
Okay, true. If you can
fucking-
go
You haven't
out-
lived
alright.
until you've played Minecraft at 144 hertz.
Okay,
I'm
God.
just kidding.
So
I've played
real
plenty
life.
of games. I even have I have Call of Duty on like Modern Warfare 2 on there. Playing that at 144 after playing it on 360 for so long, just it's like night and day. Really, it's almost like a different game.
Yeah.
It's an awakening.
I know. I the last time I played Horizon Zero Dawn was on a regular PS4, and then I got the Pro. Never played Horizon Zero Dawn until like a month ago, and I was like, "Holy shit, this looks incredible!"
Playing Doom 2016 at like well over 100 frames per second. Honestly,
Yeah.
best way
That
to play.
Had some really
I
good optimization
actually-
on PC.
I saw that, Bill. I saw that you had actually had that game and played that game on Steam, and I was like, "I'll buy that game." I bought it.
It's amazing, dude. It's
You
one of my
sold me,
favorite
Bill.
games of all time.
Doom
Shit's
owes you a thank you.
Yeah. Actually, it's kind of interesting you bring up that because I know Doom 2016 was one game that a lot of people were curious how the Switch would run it. And okay, if you look at it like from an outside perspective, it's not that great, but for some people, it's just the philosophy that, this little tiny device with a mobile-ish chipset, Tegra X1.
There's give and
specifically.
take.
Yeah, the fact that
but
it
it's
plays
it's like a novelty thing where it's like, oh, it's
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
But
You
I
can play
wouldn't
it on the
play
go.
I wouldn't play it.
It runs fine enough, For
I
for what
wouldn't
it
play
is, for
Doom on
handheld.
anything other than a computer because that's how I feel like the game should be played.
Well, you figure in 2019 our handhelds would be a lot better. I mean, you look at what your phone can do. Like I've been playing PUBG Mobile at work just to pass the time, and it's incredible how well it runs on like 5G. Like it's ridiculous. But
Yeah.
like you figure a Switch that's a little bigger, that's made for this specifically, not to make calls, not to send texts, not to have apps. It's like you figure in 2019 it would be like incredible, and it's just not quite
the only
there
problem
yet.
with that is I think the only reason they didn't make it more powerful, because I'm willing to bet they could have, but they would have to make the console more expensive.
Well, it's That
Yeah.
and it's Nintendo. I mean, Nintendo is not good at marketing. Nintendo is not good at online. Nintendo is good at making good games. That's about it.
Nintendo has at least recently has not been good with marketing.
Yeah, like
The
In
only
the
the
last-
last thing I
in the
can
last-
remember
15 years, except for I mean, as soon as they lost Reggie, they lost an asset. But
true.
um,
I miss him.
I miss Reggie.
a solid guy. Can't wait to what is it to
Jump
into
off the
Tilted
battle
with
bus
you.
and
Yeah, the battle bus
hit
and
the
shit.
battleground with you in Fortnite. Like, I swear to God, every
think he's
time I
still
fucking
playing
hear
that?
that shit.
It was so good.
Oh my lord.
Yeah.
Jump off the battle bus.
Dude, he retired because he had to go play Animal Crossing New Leaf on his
Yeah.
Nintendo 3DS.
And then he'll be playing the Horizons. The
John,
one
can
that's
I
coming to
just
Switch.
say,
Yeah,
whenever you
Crossing.
jump in saying anything at all, it's always the funniest shit.
It's always the most sarcastic, greatest shit ever said.
That's just John in a nutshell.
Oh, John, you're wonderful.
Should be
Oh,
your
my
Twitter
lord.
bio.
One of the things that I keep on imagining is, will there be a Switch Pro? And I am hoping that we kind of have something like it.
Well, they
Well,
have a
might
light,
call
don't they?
it new-
Yeah, they just came
Well,
out
yeah,
with
they
the
have a
light
light.
version.
But will it be like something that looks like the original, but is meant to have more power? Because there are more Tegra chips that have more power. There's the X2, and there's one, I don't know if it's in development or it's finished, called Xavier. That'll be
Well,
even stronger.
Yeah,
Look at the
I don't know
iPhone
about
11
that.
CPU. That thing is a monster in a tiny, tiny package.
Yeah, but
Kinda
the
crazy.
only thing that the phones have though is their CPU. With the
Yeah,
Switch,
but-
there's still a graphics chip.
Yeah, but
So,
exactly. That's what I'm saying. You have a Switch that's a lot bigger than a phone.
yeah. And
You got room.
this is the thing I'm really hoping out of the Switch. I'm hoping that they find a way to basically allow you to boost any game you want with this new power. Because there's lots of games that would definitely benefit from it. Either they don't hit their target frame rate all the time, or they use dynamic resolution.
But
Which
do you
is-
think it would be a next generation Switch, or do you think it would be like the same Switch but a Pro version, like a PS4 Pro kind of
That's
thing?
what I was about to say, because we're already nearing the end of this console
How
generation.
long has this generation been? It's been like 8 years.
Yeah, like
it's been a pretty
started
long
what-
time. Even though
It's
even though
ridiculous
the Switch
how long it's been.
even though the Switch started like a couple years late by comparison, because that's what Nintendo always does.
But also, PS4
we're still
came out with
nearing-
the Pro. Xbox
we're
came out with
still-
Elite.
Nearing the
Yeah.
end of this console generation. So I mean, even though I haven't even had my Switch for that long, it's like it almost seems like, 2 years from now there will be a new one or something.
Oh yeah,
Guess it's kind of a weird
they'll
to
make
say
it black and
what's gonna happen.
sleek.
Yeah,
I mean, yeah,
very
that.
modern design.
Like, what's gonna happen when PS5 and Scarlet comes out? Like, I do think that the Switch, because it has such a huge install base already, will still need to get supported, and I think, there's a special an untapped market for that. But at this point, will we get to the unfortunate era where we'll start seeing games that are just even more downgraded and might not be exactly the best on the Switch?
Well, the thing about the market is shit. I forgot what I was gonna say.
You tried.
I've totally failed. I had something so good, a really good question for you, and I lost it. And when I remember, I'll be back.
Okay. Yeah. Still, I have to give credit to all the various porting companies out there who are trying to make Switch ports presentable in this sense. Like
Well,
Panic
I
Button.
think the more that mobile technology becomes the norm, the more we'll be seeing consoles like the Switch exist, but maybe Sony will make something like it, or Microsoft.
That's what I was gonna say. Do you think the
But-
Switch is too expensive for a mobile?
I don't think so.
Market?
Like
Like it add $300 or something as far as a mobile way to play.
I mean, I don't know what the Switch cost when it first came out, but I'm pretty sure it wasn't that much more than $300. It's just
Oh, it was 300 on the money.
okay. So like,
So 300. Like, would you buy a Game Boy for 300? How much were Game Boy Colors back in the day?
I'm pretty sure they were like adjusted for inflation, like $500.
Yeah, let's see.
Wow. But
Yeah, it just let's
It's just like, I think because Nintendo was just trying to compete with the current prices of
Wow.
the Xbox One and the PS4, that was the reason why the Switch is $300. But like,
the specs on a Game Boy Color are amazing, by the way.
Game Boy Color, didn't the Game Boy Color's life cycle last for like, I mean, just the Game Boy in
It was a
general
while.
last for like 15 years?
Yeah, it was a
Yeah,
long
I
time.
mean,
The
holy
Pocket
cow.
and the Color, yeah. And then they went
Like-
to LED with the DS and all that crap. But the
The
Game
Color-
Boy,
I still like the Game Boy Advance though. That was
My
a pretty
sister
good
had that,
console.
didn't
Game Boy Advance is great, but the
but
Game Boy Color could be pushed in interesting ways. I mean, do we even need to bring up Shantae?
Seeing Shantae running on the Game Boy Color, man. Shit looks old when you look at it now, but then you think about when that
you're
shit
at
came out.
160 by 144 pixels, I mean, how...
You got to put some detail into it. Like, you got to have some creativity, and you know what? They made it work. It could almost pass off for like an early Sega Genesis game.
But I think that's the point, you know.
Wow, so the Game Boy Color at 1989 was $89. It would cost, and per inflation rate, 170 would be a Game Boy. Yeah, $100 today. Okay, so 70 was the Game Boy Color when it first released. It would be
dang.
$100 today. So imagine like that. That's a market that's why they sold so many. It wasn't that expensive for a
By
handheld.
comparison.
Now, if you spend $100 more, you have something you can play on your huge TV at home. Who needs video games that hard? You're gonna buy the bigger console that can handle it.
Well, yeah, but that's the purpose of being competitive, is trying to one up each other in price. With
exactly.
Yeah. And in
If
fairness,
Go ahead.
like the Switch Lite is at least filling in a new niche of people who are who just don't want the TV experience and who mainly bought it as a handheld system.
The only
Because
problem with
the
that is
Switch
there's
Lite is
certain
cheaper,
games
right?
that it's way cheaper, I think, right? By like $100.
But you can't play it on your TV.
No,
Yep.
it's not
Yeah,
dockable.
you can't dock it, but it's $100 cheaper and it works well as a portable system.
Hey,
I
if
basically
it
use my
works,
current
I
Switch.
would probably only get a Lite. Because I would never play it. Oh, it's $200 at Target right now. There's an ad on the side screen of my goddamn Google,
Oh,
man.
there you go. There you go.
Are you
Google's
listening
hearing
to
us.
again.
Dude, my
Nintendo
FBI
Game Boy
agent.
Original, $1,980. Yeesh. Nintendo Game Boy Color, Barry, $1,500 on eBay. Oh my god, I need to
Jesus
find my Game
Christ,
Boy.
dude, people.
I need to find my Game Boy right
Well, just
now.
because it's listed on eBay for that much doesn't mean someone's retarded enough to pay that much. You know?
My brother has a yellow one. I'm going to my dad's house tomorrow and finding that. I'm going to make it grand. I'm going to make it grand
Besides, a
right
lot
now.
of eBay sellers mostly just overprice their stuff because they know that
That's fine.
somebody out there might be like, "Ooh,
Reserve not
what's
met."
Not
this
really.
price
I
for
I
this
get
thing
all
I
my
want?"
stuff. I get a lot of my stuff. I got my computer from eBay, and it
Really?
was super cheap.
I
Yeah.
got mine off Amazon.
I got
Um,
because I built my own computer. I just purchased everything off Newegg.
Newegg's good. Did you use a PC parts picker to pick it all up?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
Well, that's the best way to do it. It gives you incompatibilities and all that.
The only
Yeah,
thing
I'm
that
gonna
I
have to
didn't
look
buy
into
from Newegg is
that.
my hard drives I bought on Amazon because they were cheaper because Newegg didn't have the hard drives I wanted.
Yeah. I got my SSD on Newegg, I think, but I'm planning on this.
Yeah,
this
other than the
December-
SSD, like the
Yeah,
SSD, I definitely got on Newegg and it was cheaper on Newegg.
This December, I'm trying to get the i7 99A 1070.
You lagged a little bit, what, Nani?
Yeah,
I'm getting it in December. I'm thinking I'm going to swap my computer I have an i5 and like a RX 580 that's a 4 gig. It just can't handle much. I'm going for the i7 9900K
Oh
and
damn,
with a 1070 graphics card.
dude, the 1070 is what I got.
Yeet. And you have no issues, right?
No, not really. Like, there's only
Yeah.
a few games where I'm like,
Well, I still have my PC right now. I could graphics card the hell out of it and just stream with a streaming PC and a gaming PC.
true. I mean
That's the dream.
that's the dream, my dude. Like,
I mean, it's sitting right here if I can do it. But I'm probably gonna have to sell it because I'm gonna be broke after that.
that's fair. I can understand that.
But getting a really strong gaming PC, that's the kind of thing I dream about. It's like,
Oh yeah.
although it almost seems like what's going to happen when I do? How is it going to shift my general gaming sensibilities?
Well, I feel like
it's more
I could
of
play so much more on stream if I had more capability because like if I'm streaming, I'm using a good amount of CPU, GPU, whatever, and then running a game on top of that. If I can get a much more powerful equipment, I can do so much more.
Yeah.
that's one of the things that made me debate on all the parts that I picked for my computer build.
Still,
And,
I feel like yeah.
the CPU I think is because I have a 7700K. I think even though it's really powerful, it's not as powerful as I wanted it to be for like running games and streaming at the same time.
Yeah.
But
Probably
I
nice
still
with that.
I end up using the graphics card to do the encoding of the video on OBS anyway, so
Well, the graphics card probably has no problem playing most games. It's the
yeah.
CPU that ends up being like, I'm kind of bottlenecked here.
Yeah, I feel like my CPU gets
Yeah.
bottlenecked way more than my
Actually, yeah, I need
graphics
to
card.
uninstall Realm and redo it because Claire has no
Well,
issue.
You could
on
do that right
CPU.
now.
I'm doing it
Wait.
right now.
Will that clear some kind of cache or something?
It fucking better.
It might, but I don't know.
Because it runs at 100% CPU for no reason.
I mean,
Yeah,
the
it does
game
that to me
is still
too.
kind of in beta.
I'm sick of it. It
Realm
was the
Royale
last
is really
update.
CPU
But Claire doesn't have the
intensive game.
problem.
Neither
but
do I, but
Claire was having an issue on Cuisine Royale, but I think it's because she can't use VSync because she's on a laptop.
Oh, I
Unless-
see.
and
she
if
can
she-
still
if
limit
she-
her frames though.
Well, there's no setting on that. But if you can,
Yeah, you could use a third party program to limit the
That's
frames.
true.
That's what I do sometimes.
true,
Like
yeah,
I
yeah.
use what is it
my
called?
monitor.
I use Riva Tuner Statistics Server, I believe is what it's called.
Yeah.
Oh
Where
yeah.
I have settings for like literally every single game because that's where I get the on-screen display from MSI Afterburner to show up
Yeah.
is using that program. And there's a frame limiter, like a frame rate limiter that I use for some games because sometimes they don't have a built-in thing for it.
Yeah. I lost Realm Royale. Okay,
Yeah.
lost it.
I feel like that kind of thing should kind of be a standard, though. But
You should
that's-
always
At
be
this
able to
point, it
capture
should
frames.
be a standard, yeah.
Well,
Not even with
like
just
Ring of
VSync. I feel
Elysium,
like
but
there should be a setting, like a slider to where it's like, how many frames do you want your game to be?
yeah,
Yeah.
You could do
I
30,
think-
60, 72, like 120,
75.
144.
I usually set it to
240.
75 or 60. Like,
And
it's
if you
just-
want, just say screw it and let your frame rate be unlocked. Even though that's probably a really terrible idea to choose
Well,
it.
that's how you bottleneck your computer.
Yeah, like I thought I remember Hat in Time having specific frame rate options like that.
I believe so, but I feel like it is only limited by 30, 60, 75, and
Oh, it's like multiple choice.
120, and then anything past that is just unlimited.
Yeah, no, like
I
Ring of
believe so.
Elysium was destroying my graphics card. I turned on VSync and it was like, oh, we'll just run a 75, and it was like, oh, 60%. I was like, oh, It's pushing 144, but I only have a 75 hertz monitor, so
Yeah, like you
it's
can only see those
dumb.
75 frames.
Yeah,
It's
it's
like
pointless.
And what happens to the other ones if it goes above the suggested frame rate? Will it cause
It's just pushing it.
time?
No,
Does it
it's
just
all-
cause time inconsistencies or something?
all it's doing is pushing it. That's literally it. Because you
It's just
can't.
pushing it, and you can't see it.
Yeah, you literally can't see past it. So like the screen and your like computer aren't.
You'll
Really
run at
showing it to you.
75, but you're not. It's pushing 100, say, but you can only see 75. It doesn't even matter how many it's pushing. But it's making your graphics card work as hard as it can, push as many frames as it can.
Which
And you'll get some drops out of it.
Oh yeah, no, you feel like my graphics card was just murdering itself.
Yeah, that's why I normally don't like to push my system like ever.
Yeah.
Like even if I could hit 144 FPS in like every
time
game,
I play a Realm, I push my CPU to the breaking point. It seems like, I mean, I have the front cover off my PC, so it blows cool, but who knows?
Yeah, I don't like the idea of constantly pushing my system to the absolute limit.
Yeah.
I don't like that at all. That's a personal thing though. Somebody will probably look at that and go, "Well, you could play this game at over 100 frames." Where I'm just like, "No, I'm fine with
Dude,
70."
how many frames do you need? I mean, really, is 75
Yeah.
frames for me is way more than enough.
I
60, I love. 75 is like, okay, I can see everything. Thank you. I don't need any more.
I mean,
for
there's
me,
a
it's kind of the
slight-
point where I can tell the difference between like 70 frames, 90 frames, 120 frames, and 140 frames, like around those marks. But anything past that, I've never seen before. But like my eyes had to have like adjusted to the smoothness for my brain to be able to catch the difference like that.
Have you tried to go back and play like Mario Kart on an old Nintendo, and your eyes have to adjust to the pixelation? You're just like,
Oh yeah,
what
for
the
sure,
hell?
for sure.
I can't see anything. It's just blocks of different colors.
Yeah, then again,
It's-
Mario Kart's been pretty good when it comes to frame rate, but like,
because of my gaming PC, anytime I see a game at 30 FPS, I'm like
Oh,
disgusted.
I was gonna say, yeah, it's horrible.
I
Especially
like it
long
feels
distance in the
like
background. It looks like a strobe light's on in the back.
it feels like I'm looking at a like a PowerPoint presentation, basically.
Yeah, like an E-Bombs World video from 2003.
Exactly.
that's a good way of describing it. But the thing with me, I guess I just have lower standards. And
Well, you like
sometimes
retro
Yeah,
games,
Yeah.
but you can have high frame
know.
rates in those. Like, I mean, there's plenty of like they're new games, but they look retro, 2D, that play amazingly well with high frame rates. Like it's still like a 2D world, but it looks good. The music's
that's-
usually the
That's
best part.
the beauty of pixel art, though, is that it can still look good.
Yeah. Well, I mean, look at fucking Undertale. Like,
yeah.
That
mean,
game River
even-
City Girls that just came out with
Oh,
Way Forward.
yeah.
That game
I
looks
cannot-
beautiful.
I cannot wait to get my copy
Excuse me.
from Limited Run Games.
Uh,
It's gonna be
what is it? River City Girls?
Yeah, dude,
Yep.
look it up. It's a beautiful
Yeah.
looking game.
Did you ever hear of an old game called River City Ransom on the NES?
No.
I mean, I did, but
Oh yeah,
Basically-
that's definitely not for me. Sorry, guys.
Okay, it's like a classic.
it
I remember
still
it
looks
back-
good, though, is what I'm saying.
Imagine a beat up like Streets of Rage or Simpsons Arcade style, but it has more RPG mechanics like stat increasing. You can get items from stores, get money from the foes that you beat up, and
Yeah.
this is a modern take on it. Except it's the gals of the story that get the chance to be heroines.
My
Have
my
you
favorite
guys,
favorite thing about the game is there's a dabbing attack. So you can like hit a dab and like hit someone in the face, and it's like the funniest thing.
I was on Google and I tried looking up the dab move, and it turns out I think there's a video online about somebody who like beat the final boss only using the dab.
That's some 2016 shit.
It's just like to me, it's like when games implement memes like that very like subtly.
I'm back.
Welcome back.
Hi.
But when games implement memes like that very subtly,
Ready up.
Nice to
into
return.
their shit, it makes me laugh like a lot. When I saw that game have the dab attack for the first time when I was watching someone stream it, I lost my shit because I couldn't believe that it existed.
Yeah. And see, that's the kind of way that you should reference memes. Just make it subtle. Don't
Oh,
draw
yeah.
as much
Very
attention
subtle.
to it, but then you look at it and you're like, wow, they did this.
That's good stuff. Have you guys heard of Peace Island?
I have not.
I
Google
think
it.
it sounds
Peace
familiar.
Island game. It's just it's gonna be wonderful, and I'm playing it on stream as soon as it comes out.
I see the demo on Kickstarter.
It's
but...
yeah, it is. I'm not paying for that. I'm broke enough. I'm broke enough.
Oh yes, I've heard of this.
Made
I've
in
heard of
Yeah.
this.
Maine.
You are a
It's
cat.
the open world adventure game where you're a cat.
Hell yeah!
You're just a fucking cat.
Right?
I heard about this.
What's
Yeah.
wrong with that?
A game where you're a cat. That is fantastic.
Yeah.
It's
I
like
thought so,
Goat Simulator, but you're a cat.
Yeah.
It's-
Or like,
Bill
great.
can finally
did you ever
live
hear of an
out
old
his.
PS2 game called Dog's Life?
No.
I
It's
wanted to hear what
basically-
John said. Damn it.
Go ahead, John.
I was gonna make a furry joke, but it's rude now.
What? Because earlier.
Oh God. Okay.
Because you were talking about playing as a cat.
Yeah.
Mm.
Who doesn't want to be a cat?
I'm a cat.
Yeah.
I'm a kitty cat, and I dance, and I prance. So about those switchboards, huh?
Yeah.
Well, I was gonna move on to another topic because
Yeah.
we've covered that pretty thoroughly. Yeah, the McRib is back, boys.
Yeah.
I don't actually like the McRib. very
Hold
much.
on to your cheeks.
To be honest, I have not had the McRib, and I don't know how excited I am to try it. I mean, maybe I'd have to say yes just because of the novelty, but
Okay, here's what
I've
I
never had
actually care about. McDonald's is bringing back donut sticks. It's a related article.
They
wait,
had those?
really?
Yes, donut sticks, dude. The
I've
McCafe
never
stuff.
had those. Never had those.
They're actually not that
I
bad.
have this thing called self-respect.
Oh my
Dang.
god, ad no.
As far as I
CNN,
go,
no ad,
is the
please
McGriddles.
stop. Okay, I'm fine.
This is CNN.
Basically, but it was like an ad for like something. It was like an ad
Is
for
that,
something.
is that
on
Monday
the
Night
website.
Football? I don't know what that is.
But yeah, the McRib is back. I actually like the donut sticks.
I liked when they had mozzarella sticks. They weren't bad.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. I wanted to try, the Taco Bell fries.
Fuck
Oh,
no.
I had.
I
Those and they're
wanted to
great.
try
I had
those.
those.
No.
They're pretty good.
The nacho fries?
Yeah, the
They're-
nacho
they're
fries.
basic-
No.
I love them. You have them with cheese, and they're delicious.
Okay, have any of you eaten breakfast at Taco Bell?
The
Oh,
the
no.
fries are
Thank
good.
God.
They're literally
God.
just kind of like spicy fries, and then you dip them
Yeah,
in
they're
nacho
like super
cheese.
paprika-y fries with nasty nacho cheese.
There's like
I get the
nacho
chicken
cheese, though.
chalupas, right? I get the chicken chalupas.
Dude, the not
Classic.
the Doritos taco, the fucking Frito burrito. That shit's
The
some.
Frito burrito. That's
It's so
that's-
good, dude.
that rolls
for
off
me,
the tongue.
I'll stick with my cheesy gordita crunch.
Nice.
Because
solid
I always
choice.
get
You get the soft shell, and then you get the crunchy shell, and then you get all your insides.
I
Go ahead.
always
And the
get a crunch
cheese
wrap whenever I
between.
go to Taco
Yes.
Bell. But
Oh,
the
the
last
crunch
time,
wraps are so good.
Crunchwrap Supreme is where it's at. I'm sick of the ground beef at Taco Bell, though. That's why I got to get these chicken chalupas, because the ground beef, it just makes me want to puke.
I just the last time I went to Taco Bell, I also got some of those Frito burrito things, and
Frito
man,
burrito.
that changed my life. Taco
Oh,
Bell
yeah.
changed my life and the way I view.
See, I
fast
broke
food.
up with Taco Bell for like 6 years, and then I was like, fine, I'll get Taco
Broke
Bell.
up
And then I
with
was like,
Taco
all right,
Bell.
you know what? I think we might have to reconcile. Maybe we'll just be friends with benefits for a while. And then I just ate out a Crunchwrap Supreme real hard, and we were just back together.
So
and
this is
then
the segment of the
everything-
podcast where everyone who's listening gets hungry.
And uncomfortable because I just sexualized the crunch frame.
Like what other like limited time things have you guys been like interested in though?
Oh,
Like, not
dude,
even
have you
just
seen-
food.
Have you seen the Arby's sandwich they got going? It's like a
What
chicken
Arby's
patty.
sandwich?
It's a chicken patty, roast beef, like fried onions, other stuff. I think bacon. There is so much shit on this sandwich. It is the most American thing I've ever seen. It is. It is a
Oh, that sounds
sadness
so
sandwich.
good.
It's like
Do you-
5 meals.
Do you know what the sandwich is called?
The something barrel. Hold on, I got you. Something barrel. If you Arby's barrel, hold on.
I'm doing Arby's sandwiches barrel.
Yeah.
Arby's barrel stack.
The bourbon barbecue barrel?
Arby's bourbon barbecue barrel stack. Yes.
Okay, yeah.
Wow, it looks like shit in this video, but it
Also,
looks
hang
really
on,
good
I
in the
might need to
picture.
go.
Holy
and-
fuck. I
Oh
see.
my god, look at this thing.
I'm looking at a picture of it right now.
That
It,
is, oh my god, someone needs to wave an American flag behind that sandwich.
Oof.
Like,
dun, 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 dun,
God
dun,
damn it, it's
dun.
it's chicken patty, roast beef, then you got cheese, then you get the fried onions, then you get the Arby's sauce.
Hang
And
on, I
then-
might disconnect for a
and then
bit.
you get
My
wet.
internet's acting up a bit. Let me just try to connect to something else.
All
Do you
right.
think? Do you think? I
you-
mean,
do you
it-
think?
do you want to have an intermission? I mean, I don't know. I don't know what.
I mean, we could. I don't know. It doesn't really like
so that's-
Pika
that-
already
that's up
left.
to you.
Like Pika left like very subtly, but I think didn't you say he had to go eat dinner? Is what he said.
Yeah. He had to go eat dinner. I imagine he didn't know. Shit.
Yeah, I
his
mean,
parents
it
were like,
just
"Hey."
happened. I mean, things happen.
No, it's all right.
Schedule things and stuff happens in
Um,
the middle of it. That's fine.
I don't know. Do you want to, if you want to, like, take 5 and maybe message Craig and see if he's still here? I don't know.
Yeah, let me see if I can get Craig. Trigger warning. The following contain fucking shit. I can't even do it.
Dude, that was perfect. Keep that one in.
Trigger warning. The following contains John, please.
Twitch stars.
And other serious topics. I don't know what to put at the I don't know what to say after this part.
Viewer discretion is advised.
Thank you. All right, later, idiot. So, John,
I'm back,
Uh,
everyone.
Jordan just left to go to the bathroom, but I'm explaining to John. Here's some of the other topics that I had written down. The Modern Warfare, Call of Duty Modern Warfare, the new one, the year-long exclusive game mode. That shouldn't be a year-long exclusive game mode. The as I wrote down, what the fuck is Twitch doing on their site? Full movie streams being partnered, and Alinity saying faggot.
Oh,
And
yeah.
among
like,
other things.
Basically,
And
Twitch has got some calamity.
and you've
Yeah,
been doing some of your reconnaissance work yourself with that. So I don't know if
Dude,
you want
I've
to talk
seen-
about it.
I've seen all there is to. I've seen every day. There's some new garbage that I find. I swear to God.
Just of people who just don't care, or people who do care a lot, but Twitch doesn't care.
I found this girl who had 2 cameras for no reason. For no reason, she just had 2 cameras for different angles of herself.
That's so
One
dumb.
was like above her, and one was to the left of her, but she was sitting to the left with her legs like kind of spread.
What, on purpose?
don't-
I mean, I don't know what the other camera was for, other than that. It wasn't really aiming at anything.
We can talk about things that we don't like about like that we've been seeing on Twitch if you want to talk about that next.
I
And
mean,
there's
yeah,
also
whatever.
then there's also the article that Jordan sent me of Ninja not really growing Mixer at all.
I mean, that
Not
was
really
to be-
driving any more traffic to the site whatsoever.
I mean, I
Yeah.
knew that was gonna happen. I didn't need to like. I was like, oh well, that's stupid. That site's dead. I can
I
go
know,
get
but
an entire
it,
site
I
in
feel
2
I feel like it's something interesting to talk about as like pretty much all of us in here are streamers.
Basically.
because when I was doing all the Twitch stuff to look at the streams and see what people were doing bad, I went to Mixer to see what was up, and I went through all the streams so quickly that I couldn't. There was no one doing anything bad, but the main reason for that is there's no one streaming on there. So the moderation is much easier, but Twitch moderation still doesn't do enough at all. That's no excuse. Because
Well-
here's the thing on Twitch is all of their problems are in the just chatting. Because I went to a bunch of different categories, all their top categories: Fortnite, World of Warcraft, Overwatch, all of that, and it's just chatting. That's it. That's the problem. I found the problem. Just remove that category, pretty much, and we'll be good.
The just chatting problem is the same reason why they removed the IRL category to begin with. I think Craig
Yeah.
is going to join us in a second.
Awesome.
Oh, sweet.
Audience, welcome
Craig!
KregStone, everybody. Woo!
Hello, Craig
Well, I'm going to
Stone.
add some
Welcome
applause in
to our
post.
channel.
You
Welcome
doing it?
to our
Alright.
channel. Welcome,
So-
KregStone. Welcome, KregStone.
So I've been recording for about an hour now. And,
Right.
you know, you're new to the podcast, so if you want to introduce yourself, Craig.
All right. Well, I'm KregStone. You can. What do I just plug my channel and everything like that here?
Or you could just talk about yourself, plug your channel.
So I'm
hit that
KregStone.
K-BillTV sellout.
Yeah. I stream on Twitch. Have been doing stuff on Twitter and Instagram. My Twitch is Craig_Stone. So that's KREG_STONE. It's Craig like a Craig jig for like
I'm
woodworkers.
putting it a chat. Fucking viewers, I'm putting it in the description. I stream too much.
Yeah, I do too much.
Fucking chat. Oh my lord.
Yeah, but I mostly play RPG games and I stream Overwatch from time to time as well. So that's what I'm doing.
What were you talking about before you came in? We were talking about John has been doing some spelunking on the just chatting portion of Twitch, and apparently he's
Alright.
been finding a lot of people like doing very suggestive things, streaming full movies like Thor Ragnarok, The Dark Knight
Yeah.
Rises,
Breaking the law. In a
and
Yeah.
like some of the streams he's been looking at have been partnered, like verified on the website.
Yeah.
I mean, to me personally, with the amount of work that I've put in on my stream to be like entertaining and like growing a community and such, seeing something like that happen is almost like a direct slap in the face.
I
Oh, for
agree.
sure.
That Twitch
For sure.
hasn't, like, you verified someone who just streams movies. Did you not even take a look at their profile? Is it all just automated once they hit the partner requirements?
What I did find out was there's for if you're like in Russia, there's a different team who handles each like place. Like some different there's a different team in Russia. There's a different team here.
Yeah, there's different. You're saying there's like a different team in each country that handles the shit.
Handles what shit? Hi,
Uh,
Craig.
Hi, Jordan. So again, we were talking about you know, what the fuck is Twitch doing with having
With that
partnered-
garbage fire.
with having partnered streamers be like streaming full movies and things
Yeah,
like
like-
that.
Is it
I guess-
really partners? Like partners?
Yeah, dude. Look at
Yeah.
what John
Yeah.
has posted
Jordan, that was-
on Twitter.
Dude, I found two of those
I
people.
saw the
Two
person
people.
drop an F-bomb and not fuck, but
Dude.
that
Dude.
was
Yeah.
Like-
that-
like I said,
that's
and
how you
like,
say that and not break TOS right there. Boom.
oh, I mean, this is
Someone-
going on. This is going on YouTube, so we can say whatever the fuck
Someone-
we want.
A YouTuber
I don't
me
give
and
a
Bill
shit.
know. Some of you might know. Zuckles got banned from Twitch for a month for saying that word.
Yeah,
Just saying.
Zuckles. I fucking love Zuckles. First of all,
For
Aw.
saying what?
for saying the
Faggot.
word faggot.
yeah. Like.
Oh, no,
I'm not a
But
fan of the
no,
word.
I'm not a fan of the
Me
word
neither.
either. It's just the principle of the thing. Where if someone else gets banned,
yeah.
Then
I'm
then
very
another
mindful of
person who
TOS.
says the
That's-
same
that's
thing,
really-
like Alinity. Our channel is about to
Oh,
get taken down.
God.
Can we copy strike
Alinity,
KBillTV?
Amaranth, or whatever. Is
But,
Amaranth
you know, like-
the girl who's like legit, like a literal porn star on her Patreon?
Yeah,
but
dude.
she
All right,
plays
let me
Fortnite?
tell you what she
Oh.
does
Because
every
I
day.
couldn't
She
find
does
any other
just
Twitter.
their.
We're
It
worried.
wasn't
Hold on. Let's
porn.
slow down. We're all talking over each other.
Sorry.
Well, that's gonna happen during times like this.
We're
But
we're,
yeah.
we're all a little heated because we all like streaming. I understand.
That girl, whatever her username is, I can't pronounce it. She does just dance,
Amaranth.
but and I looked in her about, and it says she does cosplay, and I found a very common theme between these channels that do this, that don't like dress the normal clothes. They all say they do cosplay, but the majority of them don't do cosplay. I know that might
It's-
surprise you.
It's hard to have this conversation as a guy just because of the world we live in, but there's a bias on Twitch that's undeniable.
This
Yeah.
this podcast right now is a total sausage fest. So I mean,
Fair.
But we're not talking about abortion or
well,
fucking-
no,
Oh,
no,
no,
no.
no,
I'm just
no,
talking
no,
about
no,
Let's not go that
like
far,
I'm
please.
talking about the
That can be edited,
principle
don't worry about
of
it.
it's the principle of sexualizing yourself.
Yeah.
And
Or
let me
views.
let me make this clear. I'm saying I'm going to speak for all of us here. This does not include people who actually do cosplay and people who do body art.
no,
and
no.
stuff.
I
Those
love
people have a
cosplayers.
complete-
Very hard.
Like,
Cosplayers
dude,
work really
said it,
hard.
the
Exactly.
And there are
people-
so
yeah,
many
let's
like
let him finish here.
Like
Go
the
ahead.
people who love like we were talking about the Borderlands cosplay, those people are fantastic. And I've said that as an art form, it can be utterly stellar.
oh, they work hard. And
Yeah.
it's not sexual. Now, like, do video games have like a little bit more skin showing on female characters? Yeah. What's the demographic on video games percentage wise? Let's be
Yeah,
real
I mean,
about it.
it's like if
But-
you like you can't have like if you're going to accurately cosplay a suggestive character like Mai Shiranui from Fatal Fury and King of Fighters,
Bayonetta.
then oh yeah, her too.
Yeah.
Well, Violet
basically-
7 should never have gotten banned for her cosplay. That was crazy.
No, I
did a
agree
perfect
with you.
cosplay,
I agree with
the
you on
character
that.
shows her thighs, but just because a band in her underwear happened to show because I showing, it wasn't sexual. She was drawing. Like it's just it's just everything that any skin that's shown on a female is way over sexualized for the people who don't have that
Now-
cam girl aspect.
Now I'm
But
gonna have to fact check this, but I don't know if you guys know who Legendary Leah is.
No,
Yes,
I know.
yeah.
What
Yeah,
does she
but-
do?
Does anyone remember when she literally showed her vag on stream?
Oh, playing with her dog. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Did
That
she
was
get,
like
did she
3
get
weeks
banned
ago.
for that?
Yeah, for like 4 days, 3
I
days.
think. Oh, I know. who
4
you're talking
days.
about.
Because it was an accident. They were like, "Oh, Twitch was like, oh, we're
But-
jerking off to
but
you." So
does anyone also remember? I forget the streamer's name, but the streamer who played Minecraft and showed a Hitler Minecraft skin
Yep.
for
Oh, he
less
got
than a
banned
second.
for-
He got banned for
He's-
30
he's-
days and had
at
to
least.
appeal the ban.
at least
like-
because
Like
he
where's
accidentally had his character up.
like what? I don't understand. Like
But
they're
that's the
both-
thing,
they're
when you
both
put yourself on a
accidents.
public platform. You
Yeah.
have to adhere to certain things,
Well,
and
yeah,
I
no, I
get why they would
understand.
I mean,
ban
look
you,
at
but at the
me.
same time, make it fair.
make it
I mean,
fair.
I'm trying
Like
to be
that's
as
what I'm
clean
that's
as
what I'm trying to
possible.
say. Like if she gets like a 4-day ban for something like that, and then a similar thing happens but to a lesser degree, and then
If
the
I
other
do that
person
in
gets
public,
a 30-day
I
ban.
have to tell everybody when I move. Like that's
Exactly. When like you get put on a list, even if it
That's
is an
my problem.
accident.
it's like they put themselves on a public platform that is not a porn site. That happens. There's no accountability for all this. I'm sorry, they're fucking cam girls, half of them. Like
like a lot of
It's-
these types of people that
there's
I'm talking about.
there's so many people who are actually just playing games and trying to like have fun, la da da da. But
There's so many people that we even know who are like female streamers who like are just great people.
Oh,
They're just
yeah.
playing their game,
And they're just
like,
playing
listen,
Right.
games.
I've had at least four female streamers who like I know personally who are just like because I don't want that in my chat. I don't want disgusting guys in my chat. I don't want that abuse. Like while
Yeah,
they get the
that makes sense.
initially they get more viewers. That's because there's a girl voice on it, and Twitch demographic is mostly male, and they're a bunch
And
of pervs. Guys are
it's
gross.
not even
We all
that.
know
If someone uses a camera, it makes it even worse for
Yeah,
harassment.
well,
at
they
least.
can exactly. They can see you and point out imperfection. Like, dude, I would love for someone to come fucking just point out my facial imperfections on
Like,
stream.
Dude,
I'm probably
not gonna
not.
lie.
But
Like
Huh?
fucking when I got rated or hosted by that big streamer,
dude, you were
Um,
killing it.
That was amazing.
fucking
Actually, I was
this
really
dude
happy.
fucking one of the guys from his community comes in. I'm not gonna say who it is or anything like that, but like one of the guys from his community comes in and like makes a mention about like I apparently have a fucking neck beard and like I paint my nails black, and he's just like, I'm fucking out of here. This guy's fucking disgusting. And I'm just like, who the fuck are
that's-
you, dude?
that's-
Like, what the hell?
It's half the reason I like you.
But
'Cause I'm just
I-
like, I was just like, what? Like, like obviously, like, there's gonna be toxic people. There's gonna be that
Oh, yeah,
that
you can't please
10% of
everybody.
toxic. There's gonna be that 10% of toxic people that
Somebody
you just
dropped in. Somebody told me
completely-
to shut the fuck up with an N bomb in it last night on chat.
Dude, I saw that. I was
how'd you-
lurking. I was lurking in your chat.
Did you
I
see
was
how I
just
handled it? I was like, wow, how'd you get that? Banned him.
Yeah, I just
Yeah.
like people are so dumb. It's like
like people got a lot
Yeah.
of time on their hands.
The worst
Way
thing
too
I've
much
ever
time.
been
Don't
told
care.
on stream is I've said this
You
before. I
you've
don't know
had
if I
some
said this
bad
in
ones,
the
John.
in the last podcast, but it was when I was playing Silent Hill 4, and you know, it's
Excuse
an
me.
awful game. I hate it. It makes me sad to play. It made me upset. It
Silent
physically
Hill 4
pained me to
sucks.
play. And crap. Sorry. He's basically
Words
he
are
said,
hard.
You
Yeah.
pulled a me. You
No,
pulled a
I'm being
me.
distracted because my brother's playing Fortnite next.
Oh,
Dude, no, understandable. He's probably
Nice
yelling
name
and it's
drop.
distracting you for.
But
he's probably
what I
making
was told,
dance emotes, memes, or some crap. You know.
What I was told was, wow, you're playing a video game alone on a Saturday night. How pathetic. And then he said, I might donate to you because you're so pathetic. And just because of how already
you
upset
donate
I was
them?
that I was playing Silent Hill 4, I was like, I wasn't mad at him. I was just like, wow. I was just like, I hope he donates. That'd be awesome.
I mean, hey,
Seriously,
it's
wouldn't
free
that be
money.
the
He's the big idiot. He's the
He's
fucking
the
idiot in that
moron.
situation.
Yeah, fun.
And you know, a fool and his money are soon parted.
Like
I
literally,
remember-
like there's one guy that like goes to my school, and like he feels entitled because he gave me a fucking like Twitch Prime like
oh, he
sub, and
gave you a
I'm just
freaking
like,
hate
dude,
that shit.
I haven't seen fucking jack shit of that money because I make less than $1,000 in revenue currently. So you are not entitled. You're just being a fucking prick. Get it out of here.
I love when random people show up and are like, "Hey, can I be a?" No.
Dude, that used to happen. That used to happen to me so much when I first started out live streaming.
I have Claire and Alyssa as mods. That's it, because guys get kind of gross sometimes, and Claire and Alyssa can kind of curb that. Like,
No, I completely understand because they like.
perfect.
Basically, it is what it is. Like, if you're going to become a mod, you have to earn the right. You have to prove
For sure.
yourself as a
Oh,
very
yeah.
nice, just, honest person who won't backstab your friends or like the person who is doing the stream itself. You basically just have to be the one to look at others, see those kind of injustices that are happening, and say, no, that's not allowed.
Yeah.
I can't let you
No,
saying so many
what I love
such horrible
about
things on here.
what I love about people who ask for mod, it's mostly just people who show up, ask for mod, and then leave because they just don't give a shit. They just want
Yeah.
the gratification of being a moderator
Oh my
somewhere.
god, I'm like, the
but they won't
moderator on,
even
like,
do
15
anything
channels.
with it. Like they'll
Or if-
never.
And they don't
Those
do
are the
anything,
types
yeah.
of people that will never do anything with it. They just
See,
want
I'll
to
get-
brag to somebody and be like, "I'm a mod in this channel."
Yeah, I'm a mod on a bunch of
Yeah.
channels.
And
I have a
then if
busy
they don't
schedule.
get the mod, they'll whine and complain about it. Like,
Oh,
you
yeah.
didn't give me this
Like
mod
I
position.
don't
You're
even
so
I don't even really
mean."
need to be a mod on anyone's stream when I already have so much on my plate with my
Yeah.
own stream because like
I
Oh,
just
I could-
mod
that-
people who are like in the stream every so often, so that there might be a mod. Like I don't need a mod because I don't have like a huge, like I can handle everything by myself. But I have a few
Yeah.
mods like you and Alyssa and Claire. Eddie's a mod too, but it's just like it's people I know.
'Cause
I'm
they're
probably
there.
gonna make
anything
Eddie a
bad.
mod at some
Well,
point in the near future.
they're usually there, and you know that they mean well. Like they
Yeah.
would never do anything on purpose to fuck up your stream or anything. Like
Specifically, like
like Bill saying faggot in my stream or something.
oh man,
Hey, Claire did it the next day.
she did do it the next day, but
That was
I
so funny.
I
swear to
was
God,
so
killed.
fucking pissed off.
I can't believe she said it like the next day. Like,
Like
you,
as
you were
foul a
fucking
mouth as I
you were
have,
fucking
I'm so
hammering me
conscious
for
about
it.
TOS.
You were hammering me for it, and then all of a sudden the
Yeah,
hammering
well,
just stopped, and it
well,
went
you know
straight
what?
to Claire.
I was hammering it, and then John was like, "All right, it's just a word," and I was just like, "God damn it! All right, whatever, fuck."
But I mean, it
You
is
guys
just a
were-
word. It's
Because
context.
you were being so passive aggressive, and everyone was so like, no one was
Oh,
having
yeah.
a good time, and I was like, we're all friends. It's a word. Who cares? We're
Listen,
so
if
sweet.
you want me passive aggressive, I'm really good at passive aggressive.
Yeah,
I know,
you
dude.
come off as passive aggressive already. So I mean,
Yeah. Well, I guess the thing
I'm
is
always
that's
joking with you guys. Though you guys have never actually pissed me off. Like I understand mistakes happen and people.
no,
have
it's
emotions,
like
whatever.
it was a heated gaming moment. First of all,
oh no, I know where this is going. Are you sure we want to go this route?
dude,
Take it. Drive
like
it.
like with PewDiePie when he did that,
Take
for
me down
example.
to Funky Town.
That's basically what
thought
I
he-
did, except I
I thought
said
he
the
was singing
word.
a song.
No, but
No, that was
he
like-
was.
Remember that
No.
time you mispronounced a guy's name and it sounded just like the N word?
No, yeah, his name was like NG. His name was like NG, and I was like, how the hell would that even be pronounced? Like Naga or something? And like, but I said it so quickly, it sounded like the N word.
Oh.
So like, I think someone clipped that, and I deleted the clip because I didn't want to get banned
That's so
for a
good,
misunderstanding.
I'll ban you.
that's so good though.
Yeah, dude.
I'm
That
glad
was so
that
goddamn
didn't
funny.
happen.
Oh man,
for
that's
my
rough.
stream
Yeah.
ever. Like every time that pops up, like whenever the fucking N word shows up
Yeah.
on my stream, I fucking flip. I'm just like, all right, I guess I have to like go back and delete this fucking portion of the video now.
Yeah.
See,
Because
I
like it's
get
against
way
fucking
madder.
because it gets if it's broadcasted on my stream, I'm just like, well, I'm fucked here. Like,
Yeah. Well, I
That's
see. I
just
get
the
I get
risk
way
that you
madder at the
get.
F bomb than
Yeah.
an N bomb.
As-
N bomb. I
as
live in
Twitch
South Florida.
said-
It code fucking. It's said all the time over here.
Like
As Twitch said, in their new at TwitchCon this year, they said context matters, so we should all be fine with it.
okay.
context matters. I mean, that's a very nice
Well,
thing.
what
but
if you
yet-
listen to Bill?
Dude, if you listen to me, like that was out of pure rage, and I actually
Fear
really
you
didn't feel bad
fucking
about it.
faggot, like Jesus.
Like I was so mad. The only thing I could think of was, what's the worst word I could possibly say in this moment?
I rated
And-
Jordan, and then literally 5 minutes later that happened, and I was like,
well, oops.
No, like, look, I've done that before, even on my own
It's
stream.
alright. I've never done it on stream.
I like, it's just, I'm trying to move past saying words like that because it's not cool. Like, I understand that.
Yeah, like believe
I'm
me,
pretty good about it. I
Like, I try and make myself as clean
Like, I
as
think-
possible.
I think the
I
worst
say
word
fuck
that
all
I
the time, but
I think the worst word that I say a lot
see you
is-
next Tuesday.
is retarded.
Oh well, okay, fair enough.
But
you-
even then, like-
you throw the see you next Tuesday around every once in a while.
I mean, those words aren't really bad. Like you get, I don't.
No,
I
I
was thinking
agree
about
with you
this.
though.
Like I think about this all the time. It's like, why is there this weird like ladder of bad words that you can and can't say when most of them really mean the same thing? Like,
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
Like,
and
well, it's
wasn't there a
it, when
comedy
it's
routine
social
about
norms.
that?
like when it comes to those kind of like words, like the N word, like
no, not those.
faggot.
Those are different. I'm talking about like the see you next Tuesday and the F bomb
Oh,
and all
like
those.
ass
Not
is
racial
less than
slurs,
fuck.
Craig. Racial slurs
Yeah.
are a bit. You
Well,
jumped the border there.
slurs.
As in
You
like
jumped over
fuck
the
is worse
general.
than ass, right? That's what you're
Basically,
saying.
the only one I consider like kind of safe to say is crap, and that's only just because it's been on Homestar Runner so many times.
Right.
Homestar Runner.
Like,
Oh,
it
I
was-
you should. I'm sorry for if you ever pop into my stream. That's my bad.
but like anyone who knows me though knows that I curse a lot, and that's why my stream is rated for mature
Yeah.
audiences
Yeah.
only.
I mean,
And for mature, that's it.
I just like, but
That's what I do.
there have definitely been times where I have said words that I shouldn't say, or that people get offended
I've said
by,
retarded
or
a few times,
like
and
there-
every once in a
there-
while I'm
there's
like,
certain
oh, should I say
things-
that? Whatever.
there's certain things that I will for sure definitely apologize for, but then there are other things where I'm just like, nah, you're thinking way too into it. There's no reason for anyone to be upset at me
Yeah.
saying the word retarded when I don't actually mean someone who has like some sort of like they're
Mental
mentally
disability,
slow or
yeah.
something.
Yeah,
But
like,
well, you know where retarded came from, right? Because retarded people or but like mentally challenged. Let's go with mentally challenged people used to be called imbeciles and morons.
But
And
yeah,
then
But
people
then look what
started calling each other that. So the word retard was born out of like trying to be PC. And now
Yeah,
everyone
and then
took it 'cause it's
everyone
it
takes
rolls
the
off the tongue so well that everyone just fucking yeah.
no,
they just-
everyone
they
like
gotta make it
that's
hard to say so no one takes it again.
that's
so wait,
the thing though, is
are-
that you take terms and people
I'm not a
mold
simpleton,
those.
Jack.
yeah.
People
Orlando Bloom
people
just told
mold-
Johnny Depp he's not retarded.
people mold those terms into something that it was never originally meant to be. That's how language works.
Like,
Yeah.
like for example, like faggot. Like that's
The
the
bundle of
original term
sticks,
for
I
that.
mean-
It's a bundle of sticks, and then it got turned into a homophobic term.
It's a cigarette.
yeah,
Yeah,
or
and
like
in
lighting a
England,
fag,
it's
you know?
it's a fucking cigarette. It's a slang for cigarette. And so like
Yeah.
over in
The English
Europe, it's
language
not.
is fucking retarded.
It's
Ha!
not even it's just language and culture in
Oh.
general. It's just language and culture in general that's like fucked up, and it just like, and that's just something like it'll change because there'll be terms like 10 years from what we use today that won't mean the exact same thing. Like
Oh,
we'll
yeah.
be using other
course.
fucking slang and everything like that 10 years from now. That like for us, we're gonna like, why the hell did we use that back then? Like, why did we say dope? Why did we say all these other fucking slangs?
Well, I
Tubular,
mean, I remember
dude.
I used to abuse the phrase like "that's gay." Like I used to abuse
I still
the
do
hell out of
sometimes,
that.
but not as much as I used
I've
to.
gotten so much better about that. But I used to abuse the shit out of it.
It doesn't make any sense.
It-
Like,
no,
it,
it's-
doesn't-
it-
it makes no sense.
Yeah, it literally makes zero sense whatsoever. Even
mean,
in
well, the thing
context.
Didn't the
is-
word
Go
also
ahead.
mean happy?
Yeah.
Like,
It did.
Yeah,
that's so
happy,
happy,
in
bro.
the songs.
30s.
I mean, like,
What about all the happy people? Are they mad that the gay people?
Wait, are they mad that the gay people what? You cut out near the end.
Commandeered their word? Like,
Oh.
you know,
Yeah,
they're just
like,
happy people, and
you
they're like,
take-
"But I
you
was
take-
gay, and now you took a different meaning of it."
Yeah, you take
don't know, this is a
pride
weird
in
conversation.
the insult.
But that's what happens with language, though. That's what occurs.
yeah, and I guess the thing is, like,
Language,
one could try
slang,
and
meaning,
fight
it changes over time.
But honestly, I just don't feel like fighting it. In that sense, I just go along with it. If there's something that's like very like it may have been considered okay back then, but is now considered unpleasant, I'm just like, okay, I'm abiding to it. 'Cause the
Yeah, I
last thing
changed with the
would want
times because
for
yeah,
is to unintentionally offend somebody or intentionally offend somebody for that matter, because it's
Well, you
like,
don't
I
want
mean,
to
Look,
stand
I'm
your
not-
ground
If
and-
I unintentionally offend somebody, my response is gonna be, well, I don't care because I didn't mean. Like, if I don't
yeah,
mean
That's
something
exactly
and
what I
there's,
was
like,
about
a
to
lot
say,
of
John.
context to it, and like if someone knows me and then I
You
say
can
something
tell
that
when they
offends
mean
them,
ill.
then I'm like,
yeah, like
just shut up. Just shut
I
up.
get what they mean by
That's
Yeah.
context matters, but I'm still the kind of person, if I mess up, I feel really bad about it, and it
Oh,
is
I'll
what it is.
apologize going, hey, I didn't mean to. I'm
Yeah,
sorry
like-
I offended
No, yeah, same here
you.
though.
I'm
Like,
sorry if
and-
I
and for
offended you.
me,
I'm
like-
sorry I offended you, but still, I didn't mean to. And if you're not
Yeah.
going to accept that apology, then you can just fuck off.
Exactly,
Yeah.
like, is
I
though, it's
like what this
no,
conversation has devolved into, because like we haven't even touched like most of
The McRib is back.
we already talked
Okay,
about the
well,
McRib. But we haven't
I-
even touched some of the other stuff that
Oh, yeah. I didn't get a chance to mention my whole thing about my favorite limited edition foodstuffs because, my internet was being terrible.
Limited
Okay,
edition
one more
foods.
thing on that
'cause
point.
We were talking about the
Point of
McRib,
a
so
second ago.
limited food
Oh, okay.
run.
Go
Yeah.
is you wanna not fight change in lingo and language because you don't want to eventually in 20 years go, okay, wow, it's definitely on the wrong side of history on that one, and now I
Yeah,
look
we're
like an
like
asshole.
uh
So just accept the change, keep it rolling, figure out what the correct pronouns are, and
I don't
Yeah.
agree with that. I feel like
With,
I don't
with
fully agree
pronouns,
with
it's
that.
important now. Like with pronouns, it's actually important, and that's why
Yeah.
I've started
Well,
to try
listen,
and,
if I
see,
say
here's the-
adjust.
dude, if
here's
I
the
say
thing.
dude, it's not any different
Alright.
sex. That's
Yeah,
just
Be-
dude.
before
Dude, I think, is a
before
different
hold on
thing,
before we get into something political, I would just like to say this is not what this channel is about.
Are we going political right now?
It's
Oh,
not
John-
political.
John-
It's is language political? Are you telling me? Don't even tell me language is political.
We're going
now.
PC culture, I think.
I'm
Look,
I'm
the
just
thing
saying
is-
before we
Anyway.
go on a rant that turns
will
into
be a
here's
separate
why
podcast.
here's why the United States president is the worst president of all time or some bullshit like that. Before we go
No,
down
I
before we
wasn't gonna
start
go there.
before we start trickling down some weird rabbit hole, I just want to say, like, on the subject of like offending people or not offending people with language, I personally don't want to offend someone, but
Of course
if I
not.
end up doing it on accident, I
It is
don't
what
give
it
a
is.
shit. I really
Yeah.
don't care because it's not my problem. It's the other person's problem.
Yeah.
And I think that is kind
That's-
of the point
that's,
that John is trying to make.
If there's
Yeah,
no
that's another
intent
thing,
and there's no
uh,
hate involved,
yeah.
I have no issue.
Like Dave Chappelle's new stand-up.
Dude,
Everyone's
his
flipped-
new stand-up
it's
special
comedy.
is so
Now we're
fucking
It's
getting
a
good.
joke. The whole point of
Such a good special.
Yeah.
Holy shit. It was the best one since Killing Him Softly.
guess-
Oh my! I
yeah.
wholeheartedly agree with that.
I guess here's
Yeah.
the thing about, the like offensive jokes and whatnot. Like,
Offensive humor is my favorite kind of humor.
I'd say that,
It's humor
offensive
that pushes
can
the
work.
boundaries of societal norms.
Yeah.
And
You guys
such.
need to listen to Doug Stanhope.
It can be funny, but yeah, of course it has to be a joke because of course there's a reason between, like somebody making an actual joke and then somebody just spewing off crap because it's
Yeah,
like,
somebody
But
just
are
going,
they-
"Yeah,
are they-
trannies, am
are
I
they
right?
in a
Haha."
Target- Are they in a Target parking lot or are they on stage? If they're on stage, say whatever you want. It's a show. It's a joke. If you're in a Target parking lot yelling at some lady 3 cars down, then yeah, it's probably something fucking horrible. But as far as if you're on stage, that's an act. That's a joke. That's
I wouldn't even
pre-written.
say,
It's
like,
meant to be taken as a joke.
Even in like a group of friends or like something like that, or at a party or something, you can still crack jokes. Like, you don't have to be on a stage, obviously, but like,
No, but
The
well,
point
you
is,
crack jokes, but in public you go,
not only does context matter, but I believe intent matters as much, like just
Yeah.
as much.
that is very true. And my intent, of course, is not to offend anyone. And if I do end up offending anyone, then just know from the bottom of my heart that I am sorry.
oh, I think
Well-
we're all on the same page of that.
Yeah.
Is like I didn't mean,
you
but
cut out.
there was
Jordan.
no intent. Oh shit. Well, like if I offended you, I'm so sorry, but I didn't mean to, and I'll give you an apology. And if you get one chance on an apology, I'm not going to sit here and grovel at you. Kiss my ass. Get the fuck out of my chat. Like,
Well, it's not even
very
that.
much
It's
so.
like I've had people like in person like walk up to me and a group of my friends. Like if I make like a joke, like for example, we're just talking, and then all of a sudden I'm just like, "Hey, Bush did 9/11 finger guns." And then someone like in the mall that I'm walking past hears that, and they go like some shit like, "Oh, my uncle's sister's cousin's mother was in like in 9/11," and I'm just like,
Which
that's
tower? Does it
that's
matter?
that's
To my
terrible and
uncle.
everything, but I don't give a shit. Like that is not
Yeah,
like
sorry, dude.
like
It's been
Like,
fucking, it's been 18 years.
Yeah.
well, that's not that's not
Yeah.
even what I'm trying to say. It's more of like
The-
I'm making a joke. You don't
Yeah.
like. I'm not
And it's a
trying
common
to.
joke. It's not
I'm-
like it's like,
I'm not trying to like push like some sort of
it's
conspiracy
making light of
theory
a
or
situation
like.
because it's an awkward situation. Making light of it is my only
Yeah,
way of
9/11 was
handling it.
pretty awkward.
Dude,
Everyone
making
was all
light
like,
of
"Man, this is pretty
situations.
weird.
Yikes.
This is pretty weird."
Well,
The plane
I
crashed
mean-
into the tower, and everyone was
I
like,
mean-
"Oh, that's pretty weird,
Alright.
dude. Oh man,
Alright.
this is awkward."
I want to say let's move on. Let's move
Yeah,
on
let's
here.
move on.
Like
Thing
before this really derails.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
man.
you're
Oh.
probably noticing that if I'm staying silent for long periods of
Uh.
time, it's just like I don't know if I want to contribute to this. I'm just
Well
like,
played, John. Well played.
No, it's like, come on, switch
Like,
sports.
So-
We're
So,
all like we're all
um,
getting. We understand. Let's this this is
I'm
move
gonna
on to a
agree
different
with
Real-
subject.
Jack.
real-
How about
real-
those
real
switch
quick.
sports, huh?
Real quick.
What we were talking about food stuff.
So about Alinity saying the word "fact," I'm just kidding.
No.
Jesus.
just.
Who yeeted her cat?
Do you remember when she yeeted her cat and then spat vodka into its mouth?
And then
Got-
John, now John.
Okay,
has been-
Oh,
honestly,
just,
okay, so-
the Twitch is looking at her like, oh, you. Oh,
John,
Like,
what does
Lord.
it
Did
mean?
she actually get did she fully get banned?
No,
She never
No,
got
not at
anything.
all.
She
Nothing
never
happened.
got
What?
anything. She should have.
Nope.
no, she should have,
Dude,
but you know,
look at-
welcome to
look
Twitch.
at
I
any-
guess.
John is the
Twitch
expert on
tweet.
this.
Look at any Twitch tweet. Look in the replies. It's all people saying the ban Alinity still. Still to
Oh,
this
yeah.
very day.
Still,
Ninja's been vocal about it on video.
why do you think he
Yeah.
left Twitch to begin with, though? That's probably
Almost
one
$1
of the
billion
many
dollars.
Because
reasons.
Microsoft offered him a lot of money.
It wasn't
for
that.
Mixer?
It
Well,
wasn't that much
it's
money.
a number of things. It's a number of things.
He could now expand his brand beyond Twitch because he couldn't hardly do anything. He was contractually obliged, basically strictly to Switch now or to Twitch.
Twitch.
Now he can go on game shows. He can go on fucking talk shows. He can do all this shit. that he
Yeah,
couldn't-
like,
he wasn't
Mixer
allowed to
doesn't
do.
give a
example,
shit
just
about stuff
wait,
like that.
like- Yeah, for example, I believe he was recently put into what's the new singing.
Like America's
Oh
Got
yeah,
Talent or
Mask the
one of
Mask.
those.
Yeah, the Masked
Wait,
Singer.
he
Yeah,
was
that's
on
what
the
it
Masked
Yeah.
Singer?
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
fucking
Old
weird,
Town
dude.
Road.
Interesting.
Or wait, was he a judge or was he not a judge?
No, he was a
contestant.
singer.
Oh,
He was a
good
He
God.
sang
contestant.
Old Town Road.
Oh, I'm not fucking watching that.
Interesting.
Neither am
He
I,
sang the
but
meme
it's
song.
interesting, I think.
And because he wants his business to become something that he can go public with, something he can be a CEO of.
Dude, no,
not
it's
just a
I think
streamer.
I think it's a good decision to grow your brand beyond
beyond video
Twitch.
games.
Yeah.
and beyond video games for sure. It's
Yeah.
just, like
Like if
Twi-
I if
Twitch
I
was a
ever,
pretty
if I
good
ever
bi-
made it,
Twitch
quote, unquote,
is still
made
a
it,
pretty good like building platform, but I think
You know,
It-
and
it
I
mainly-
gotta
Mixer
it
made
admit,
only
the
goes so
right
far.
decision to move
We've
beyond
been
Twitch.
trashing Twitch this entire time. They're dishing out a lot of updates.
Fucking
They're actually gonna
Twitch.
fix a lot of
Yeah.
problems.
Dude,
I
fuck
gotta
Twitch. I'm
give
just
it to
kidding.
them.
I love
No,
Twitch.
like,
I've
hope-
always loved Twitch.
I mean, Twitch
Like,
updates
I-
plenty.
The
even
people
though
the
that
new
I've met
UI
in the
layout is
community.
fixed.
No. What they announced at TwitchCon, they're fixing everything.
I
Yeah.
like
Like,
that you
have
can
you
view
seen what they're
streams while
changing?
you view the ad. You can view a stream. That's really just turn the goddamn ads down. I know John has his feelings about that.
Dude, the ads burn my ear holes. I don't
Dude,
want to
I
hear
used to-
fucking basketball player
Whose
eating
dogs?
cereal in my ears, man.
Oh, that's my
Like, oh my god.
Do you think it's bad? Like you get one ad before you watch a stream, but if you watch a VOD, there's an ad every 5
Oh my
minutes or
god,
something.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It is
Ridiculous.
Like,
ridiculous.
like the sound
Ugh.
difference is like at first I'm not sure if it's just Bill's stream being very soft, or it's just how
No,
his
Bill's
normally, but
stream
it's
is
The
like
full
ads,
volume.
the ads are fucking
like,
loud as balls.
The
They're like
ads are loud, like
5
extremely, and
million
it's against the law.
decibels.
It really, it's against, that's why.
It's
I mean,
ridiculous. It just says
the
against
ads
the
are
law.
not.
I don't want to hear how
Yeah.
powerful your cell phone is. Just let me watch my friend as he's
Yeah.
streaming.
Real
Or
quick,
it's like-
before we continue, real quick, I just want to
Go
say
ahead.
we've been recording for an hour and 45 minutes, so like 15 more minutes, and then we'll be done.
Okay,
Okay.
yeah, because I was thinking this was getting a bit long
Well,
too.
So,
let's say, Bill, your hot topic button, Bill. It's your choice. Your
So
call.
I'm slamming the button. That was a button. That's what that sound was. We're gonna move on to a completely different subject.
Good.
The Modern Warfare exclusive game mode.
Oh,
Oh,
now
God.
The
this is
year-long-
something I can gladly sink my
The
A
teeth
year
year-long
This
PS4
is
exclusive
one of
game
the
mode.
worst choices they could have made, and I get that there's a lot behind the scenes about, Sony is part of it, but here's the thing: have
It's
you
not Sony.
considered? Oh, okay. If it's not Sony, that's one
It's
thing.
Activision.
Okay.
No,
It's-
I think it's a mixture between that Activision wanted to listen to the fans about like making all of the multiplayer maps be available at the same time, but Sony still wanted to push them for something exclusive. So then they came up with the idea of not Sony, but Activision came up with the idea of the exclusive game mode.
Well, Sony has a contract to have. I think it was for like the last 3 games to have exclusive, but it was only
Like
Black Ops 4,
exclusivity,
it was like 2
timed
weeks. It was like-
exclusivity of
yeah,
something.
It was like 2 weeks you would get shit on PS4, and then it was available to everybody. This is a year.
Yeah,
That's a life cycle of a Call of Duty game.
yeah, like by the
And
time this is
Be-
done,
before we go any further on this subject, do any of us even really still play Call of Duty anymore?
I don't
I'm
think
not
I
getting it.
ever
I
really
don't
played
think I'm
to
gonna get
begin
it.
with.
Okay,
I
y'all
want
talked
a
at
bit of
y'all
co-
talked
so-
at one time. So Jack first, John next, Craig, and then Jordan, please.
I like the order.
My extent of Call of Duty is mostly just what games that I occasionally find at thrift stores and try out of curiosity, like, the original Call of Duty 2. It's a fine game and perfectly good.
The original
but
Call of Duty
I'm not
2 is pretty good, yeah.
Yeah, I'm not the person going out, rushing to the store, buying Black Ops 27 or whatever. That
Alright,
sounds more like a bootleg.
Solid point.
John, what
Like if-
what were you gonna say? Because I thought I heard
haven't-
you say
the
something.
last Call of Duty. I've told you this before, Bill. You completely.
Cut
Completely what?
out.
You completely cut out.
You completely do.
You completely disagree with me on this, but last one I played was Ghost, and I actually really liked Ghost.
I
was,
actually
uh,
I fucking hated Ghost.
It was pretty fun. I don't know why everyone hated it. I really don't, because the maps were
It's-
really small, which made for the gameplay to be more fast-paced, and the story was good. And
Maybe I just
Three
kind
lane-
of got
three
tired
lane
of the
sucks, that's
series
my
by
problem.
that point.
3 lane
I
is
think-
garbage, and I'm over it.
I think a lot of it, like, I can't say for certain because I didn't play it, but much of it would either have been, one, general burnout for the franchise at the point, or two, a lot of the controversy surrounding stuff like the marketing. Like, we have realistic fish. Look, here's a dog.
Dude, the fucking Ghosts fucking marketing of the advanced fish AI will forever be embedded into my fucking brain.
You know what game had advanced fish AI?
They react to
Super
you. They swim
Mario
away from you.
64.
Oh yeah, they did.
Wait, what? What, Jack? I couldn't hear you over
The fish
Jordan's-
swam away. I'm
In
sorry.
Super Mario 64.
Oh
Further
my,
to
yes,
Nintendo
Yep.
64.
Super Mario 64, yeah.
No, he's exactly right.
But I
Craig,
will say,
what's your Call of Duty?
well, I was gonna say before Craig, I haven't played Call of Duty since Ghosts really, and even by that point, I didn't really care that much anymore. And with the new Modern Warfare game that's coming out, it actually looks good, and I was interested
that's
in
where
it.
it ends. It looks good.
It looks-
I was interested in possibly getting it and then this news comes out of the year-long exclusive game mode thing. It's this.
And there's loot
I'm pretty
boxes.
sure. I'm pretty sure it's the survival game mode specifically.
Yes.
Special Ops Survival, yeah.
Yeah, like
But,
some people thought it was special ops entirely, but no, it's just survival.
But in Modern Warfare 3, survival mode was like my favorite game mode.
God,
And I was really excited to play the survival mode in the new game, possibly, if I was going to get it. But I play primarily on PC. There's no way I'm getting the game on PS4 just to play one game mode. That's fucking retarded.
Yeah.
So, like, it's either I'm skipping out on the graphics and frame rate with my console to get everything that I would like to get with the game, or I'm skimping out on one of the game modes that I'm excited to play. It's a no-win situation.
It's like
Yeah.
a horde mode, right?
It's a
It's
catch-22, and it's not even like okay, I know that with me talking about the Switch, I've come to realize that I'm okay with certain inferior ports if there's like something good about taking on the Go. But in this case, where it's like you can forgive inferior graphics if you're playing it like just to have a mode early, that's not going to mean much in a year when the mode comes out on other platforms.
It's
No one's gonna
also
be
not
playing it.
even.
Yeah, no one's gonna be
It's
playing
not
it at that
even,
point. I was gonna say it's
um,
anti-consumer.
Oh yeah, definitely. It's not even that. It's that you're selling at that point an incomplete game to everyone but whoever owns a PS4.
Yeah, make it
Yeah, and it's still the
$55.
same
$55
price.
for-
It's still the same price across all
Yeah.
platforms.
I honestly thought we were kind of done with the era of major exclusive content.
Well, yeah, with cross-platform being unlocked on PS4 and everything, you figure fucking knock it off. But it's that contract that Sony has.
Dude, I
that's
just
the problem.
Yeah,
realized
with
that.
the
There's
contract with
crossplay on Modern
Activision.
Warfare. There's crossplay on Modern Warfare, but you
Yeah.
can't do survival mode.
Yep.
But
It's like a horde mode, I
hold
think, right?
on.
It's like-
I was gonna
I don't
say
know.
I want Craig to say what he wanted to say about his experience with Call of Duty.
Well, like I haven't played a Call of Duty game since most likely Black Ops 1.
Me too.
So
Oh, you decided to get out earlier than me, so.
because like most of my friends, we all play Battlefield, like so.
Oh yeah, I understand.
That's where
that.
all
Fair
my
enough,
friends
fair
were.
enough.
Yeah, that
like, but
Battlefield's
this
a good
idea
series.
of like either like I'm kind of for and kind of against this because I like the idea of games like Soul Calibur 2, for example, is a really great example. Like the different versions of Soul Calibur 2 on the different platforms had different like characters.
Oh yeah, that is
So-
a
Yes.
good idea. I agree with that.
Yes, I think
Like-
that's totally different.
Yeah.
we're
Yeah,
talking
I
about a
believe it's
character,
Right,
different.
not an
like
entire
I
game mode.
fully agree that like having a specific game mode that's exclusive on one platform is definitely not a way to go. And
Yeah.
like they just like it's just a money grubbing like it's like it's just plain simple like they wanted money and it's just
It's
screwing
the
over
last hurrah
everyone
of
else
the
on the
PS4.
yeah.
Basically, I
It's-
mean, once I think, is it this game or the next game where that contract with Sony is going to run out? I don't remember, but
It could be a 5-year contract. It could have been a 3-year.
I'm pretty sure it was a
3
4-year
now.
contract.
Well, we're fucked for another year then.
Like,
But
I just don't get why the contract even existed. And
well, it's
okay.
it's the same kind of contract that they had with Microsoft on
Sony
the
paid
Xbox.
Activision a lot of money.
Yeah,
But
but
I just don't get why
Microsoft did the same thing for Activision years ago. Like before the difference
on
here
360.
is that instead of it being maps, I'm okay with it being maps and it's like a 2-week wait on all the other platforms.
Yes,
That's okay.
Completely different.
It's
yeah.
just timed exclusivity. But this is like timed
It's a fucking
exclusivity.
year.
Yeah, a year is a long time.
That is the
That's the
entire
of
life
this
cycle
game.
of a Call of Duty game.
The
next
next one
one-
come out the next year.
The next one will be out by the time that everyone can play this game
Yeah.
mode. And the
The only-
developers tried justifying this to be like, oh, this is only 1% of the game.
Yeah, and it. No.
But no, it's like that's still, even if it is 1% of the game,
Which it
everyone
clearly
on
is
other
more than
platforms
1%.
is still playing full price for
Oh, yeah.
99% of a game that another
But-
platform is going to get 100% of.
It's a
That is-
survival mode. It's like having a station.
Okay,
Nowhere else.
you're cutting out a
Yeah, you're
lot.
cutting
You're gonna
out
have
a
to,
bit.
Okay,
you're
I
gonna have
thought
to
it was
repeat
just
that.
me.
No.
It's like having zombies 4 and not PC and Xbox. It's a horde
Yeah.
mode.
Yeah,
it's a survival mode. It's a fun mode, and you're literally just okay. You can only get it if you buy a PS4, which we've got a
Right.
bunch of these things, and we're about to come out with a new one. We need to get rid of these fucking things.
And
Yeah,
it's
That and people
It's-
have also complained about the loot boxes in the Call of Duty video games.
Oh,
but
well,
that's
Yeah.
a
they're
different
not
that-
being
that's a
truthful
different
about
fish.
that.
If
They're
Yeah,
not-
I mean,
they're
that's
nobody
what
knows
I'm
about
concerned
this,
about.
if nobody knows about this situation, the loot boxes in Call of Duty, it's more like instead of them being weapon skins, it's not just
It's
skins, but
weapons.
it's like the weapons themselves. So you'll get a
Weapons,
more
attachments.
advanced. You'll get a more advanced version of a weapon that you can only get out of a certain like loot box. That will give you an
remember Battlefront
advantage.
2? Remember Battlefront
Yeah,
2?
it's
You could
the
get,
same.
like, a
It's the
grenade
same
that made it-
principle.
your card would make your grenade better or something like that. And it
It-
was a
it's-
loot
Oh,
box thing.
yes.
It's the same
Like-
principle though, right? But I believe Activision said that they weren't implementing the loot box thing at first, and
That was a
then
lie.
they backtracked on that and
Well-
said, "Oh, we're waiting for months."
But it's the
Well,
same
someone-
thing they did with CTR. There will be
Yeah.
No,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
totally. There
Oh,
won't be
Black Ops 4, same
microtransactions,
thing.
and then like one Grand Prix later, there's microtransactions in
Yeah.
the video
Oh,
game.
Yeah.
Black Ops 4 did the same exact thing. Once all the reviews are, and it
Yeah,
says,
once
oh,
all
it's a
the
great
reviews
game,
are
then they
good
go,
for
some
the
fucking gambling in here.
oh my
Let's
goodness,
dump some surprise mechanics.
some prize
Yeah,
mechanics.
as Blake said. Although I will
that's
be honest-
that's a scummy Activision thing that they keep
Yeah.
doing.
That's an
They-
EA thing.
They no,
Yeah,
I'm
it
saying
really
like
is.
specifically with the not implementing loot boxes or microtransactions until all
Oh,
the
yeah.
good reviews come in talking about how
Mhm.
great it is and they aren't in the game, and then they just suddenly implement it. And the worst part about that is that when the game gets released on physical for like the discs and stuff, it won't even say on the back of the box that there's any of that shit in the game, because how
Oh,
can
yeah.
they do that when there isn't when the game comes out? They'd have to reprint the
Day one, they're not. Yeah,
they'd have to
Saturday.
reprint the boxes all over again, but you know that would cost way too much money, and they
Well,
won't do
it's
it.
like
and then-
Breakpoint. I wanted Breakpoint, but the loot boxes are absolutely just asinine. Like it's
just-
criminal.
it-
Like
Yeah.
attachments,
again, that
fucking
is
guns.
that
you
is
can just buy
another
'em.
that is another thing that
Ubisoft
I feel
is big on that though.
I just
very
can't
very
do
anti-consumer.
like anything with loot box anymore. It's like I dealt
It's
with them in
infuriating.
Overwatch, and at that point, I
Dude,
was just like,
Overwatch
"Ugh."
it's a very minimal thing because it's just for like skins,
Like,
but
That's aesthetic is
still-
fine. Aesthetics is fine. Go
Like-
ahead, get your
But
skin, get your
no,
cool skin.
like look,
whatever.
Look. It's not a free to play game. That's a free to play tactic in order to keep like
making money, so
money
you
more
can
money
update it.
rolling in, obviously.
Yeah,
But
but a $60 game.
it's a
Yeah.
$60 video game.
Yeah. Like,
Yeah.
and the thing is, it's like, I know there's always the thing about, it's a sense of accomplishment, like that one EA guy said and got downvoted on Reddit for.
That is the
thing
most
is-
disliked
Shit on.
comment on Reddit,
He got
by the
shit
way.
on
I
so
do
hard.
not consider that a thing of, like,
It's not a reward,
an
it's a
accomplish-
grind.
it's a grind and it's basically all luck. Like, okay, I'm going to tell you a certain anecdote.
It's
From
it's
the time of
statistical. It's not even luck.
2017. Okay, so back in the day, I used to play Overwatch. My favorite character, I know that a lot of people don't like her, but I think she's great, is May.
How do you
But-
feel, Craig?
Yeah.
How do you feel?
Yeah, how do you feel, Craig, as a competitive Overwatch player?
Did I say? I said.
You came to the wrong house today.
I mean, I'm a support main, so like, I mean, when it comes to Overwatch, I like all the characters.
Good.
Or there's some like balancing issues, yeah, but like overall, I like the characters as like
The
they're like
characters.
on. Yeah, it's
I
the
feel like they do
characters.
their
Their
best.
mechanics, I can like be angry about, but as the characters, I enjoy them. I love all the characters.
Yeah.
because they're
But
so
so
interesting.
basically,
Well,
during
for
the
sure.
2017 Halloween event, they gave her the Jiangxi costume. I was like, oh, this is so cool. I want to get it. I played as much as I could, as much as free time allowed me. I tried so hard, getting all the loot boxes I could, hoping in vain that just one of them would be that. It I didn't get
Yeah.
anything. And
Yeah,
that
it
was
sucks.
basically the point
Yeah,
where
it's
my
just like
heart
the
sank.
one thing that you're looking for, and it just doesn't give it to you.
Yeah,
It's not an
no,
That's
for
not the whole
me,
accomplishment
point.
when you get it.
yeah.
It's more of a fucking finally type
Yeah,
kind of
yeah, yeah,
reaction.
yeah.
Like,
Oh,
Where
I
the
spent
like you
thrill-
don't.
$30.
Well, not
Well,
even
like, the
that.
thrill-
It's just like the grind of getting
No,
loot
it's yeah.
boxes in that
It's
in
the
that
thrill
game
you
or
get
any
your
from
game
a
like
slot
that.
machine rather than the thrill
Yeah.
of
It's
completing a task. And like,
it's
Absolutely.
gambling.
Like,
It's
Yeah.
literal gambling.
You didn't beat a boss. You didn't do anything that like took
yeah,
effort.
it's
You
like
you pulled the thing and you hoped.
unlocking stuff. It's not like Crash Team Racing. Do all the time trials, and now you'll have Entropy, who's cool and awesome.
Oh,
Remember
dude,
in
yeah.
Halo,
Yeah.
when you would beat the game on Legendary and you would get the cool armor, the Master Chief armor?
Yes.
As like
Yeah.
a symbol
Oh my
of
God,
like, hey,
yes.
I beat the game on Legendary because
Yeah.
and that's a big
And
deal.
wasn't-
'cause
wasn't
those
there
games
also
are
a separate
very
one?
That's how
hard.
God of War
Yeah,
is.
for not Battlefield 3, for Halo 3, if you found all the skulls on Legendary, you had like the Hayabusa set, I believe it was the
Yeah,
one.
Ooh.
I was about to mention that the Hayabusa one. I did that myself with. I
Oh,
If you
love
did
the
it on
Hayabusa
Legendary,
skin.
you would get the
Yeah.
katana on the back, I think.
Yeah, that too.
Um,
Yeah.
Jordan, you're right about God of War, because if you beat it on Give Me God of War, you get like shields
You
and
get the
armor.
shields.
I think
Yeah.
just shields. Yeah, you get
You
shields.
get 2 shield
Yeah.
skins.
Those shields
It's like,
mean a whole lot. They
Oh,
mean
yeah.
a
Yeah,
whole
Yeah, it's
lot.
real totally worth it.
I'm so glad it's doing that because, like, what
totally
happened
worth
to those
wanting to
days?
just kill yourself.
What are you
happened
what are
to
you
the
saying,
days-
Jack?
Or what happened to the days where it was just a sense of like, you accomplished this thing, so you're rewarded for it.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah,
I
instead
feel
of
like
you pay money and then you get the
Right.
reward.
Modern
Yeah.
Warfare 2. Remember unlocking attachments and all
Yeah, I
Yeah.
like doing that.
unlocking what was it, kill streaks, everything. It was awesome. You're like, oh man, if I play another like 5 matches, I'll probably unlock that. Like it was absolutely attainable within a reasonable amount of time.
yeah.
Now it's
mean-
just like, nah, grind it out or give us $20, your choice.
Yeah.
Basically.
I mean, crap. You know what? As much as people can complain about the CTR microtransactions, which is totally justified, I will say, the point is, I actually found them kind of easy to ignore. Like, you get past the initial anger, and there's a lot of things with the kids, but for the most part, if you just play the game, like, the Wumpa rates are kind of low, but the point is,
That's
like,
not. Here's the
I-
thing. I see
But
what you're
it's
saying. But I'm
doable.
gonna
It's
have
the
I
to
was
argue
about to
shadiness of
yeah.
it.
I'm gonna
I'm
have to
gonna
It's the
disagree
shadiness
with
point
of
that
it.
is
one.
that they are there.
Yeah, that
They
one-
should not be there at all. That is.
Like,
It should have
yeah,
been there day
instantly,
one,
if your
or it
game
should
was
have
like a
never
10
been there.
I mean, yeah,
if your
I
game
agree
was
with
like,
Jordan.
I just want to say
here's
that.
how I've. Hold on. Let me just say
Okay,
this.
let's
'cause,
let
if your game
John
is-
speak.
If your game is like a 10 out of 10, just like a perfect, amazing game, as soon as you shove loot boxes or microtransactions, it's no longer that good. You've instantly brought your game down because in order for those mechanics to work, you have to make your game more grindy and less fun. Otherwise, those mechanics are nothing.
And let me say this is exactly what Crash Team Racing Nitro Fuel did. As soon as the microtransactions were in the game, they made a lot of the cosmetic items and such more expensive in the pit stop.
The thing is, I can't say I necessarily agree because for the most part, the only thing that was really expensive, like grossly overpriced, was the weird science bundle.
Yes, but
Which,
look,
like,
in the other Grand Prix after that as well, there was like other things like some of the colors went from 1500 to 2000, I believe. There were other packs that also costed a shit ton and barely gave you
So like
anything.
annoying, but
Just
not crazy excessive,
like
but
because
annoying.
that weird science pack should have costed like maybe 5k coins, but then they
Yeah.
just doubled the price for no reason. They did the same
That's
thing
fucked.
in the next one as well, and I'm assuming, I haven't played it yet, but I'm assuming they're probably going to do the same shit with the current Grand Prix. And the
Then
thing
again, I was
is that with these Grand Prix, they don't give you very much time in between each of them. It's like a period of 4 days and then straight back to the grind.
yeah,
And
which
Yeah.
that is one of the things that has made me fall out of love with that game entirely, because I'm burnt out from playing it after just grinding the first Grand Prix. After just grinding that
No, you'd
one,
rather go play the old one.
I
and
couldn't
get
I
unlocked
couldn't
shit.
I couldn't continue because there's so much shit to unlock. I don't have enough time. I want to play other games at this point because I can't
I
continue
guess
to play the same game every single fucking day and then probably get to the final
And a
gold
racing
tier.
game at that. Good God.
And then doing the challenges, you had a lot of them. You kind of have to go out of your way to do them, and it's
Yeah.
just not fun. That's not how I want to play the game. That is I think that's one of the reasons why I just haven't really played the game in general. It's because I always feel like, oh, if you want to get this new shiny thing, you gotta get a
Well,
certain amount
okay.
of turbo or nitro or whatever the fuck. I don't even remember what it's
Yeah.
called anymore.
I guess maybe I understand where you're coming from. And again, I know that what they did was a real scummy thing. Like, but I still don't. Well, what's it called? I didn't think the pricing of the bundles was as grossly large because, like, you if you were to add the price of stuff, I felt like the Nasty Nork bundle, like 1,500 for the character, then 5,000 for 2 skins. You basically get that much, and I think you also get a sticker for it. And
Yeah,
it makes
but
sense.
and like I want to put in my 2 cents. I'm kind of with Chromecha here because when it comes to microtransactions, if it's not an absolutely core function of the game, that you can choose to ignore it and go the hard route of going through all those challenges and really putting the time and effort into a game, then at the end of the day, you feel more rewarded, but you also feel like possibly, depending on what kind of system it is, you might feel like you wasted your time, like how you were mentioning, Bill. Like,
Yeah.
See,
Well,
that's
like,
the thing.
I think at this point we could just agree to disagree.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I think. I think goes back to what I was saying. Is it fundamentally changes the way the game works because they have to make the game. You have to buy the things now. You have to do this
Well,
because
can you unlock them?
'Cause
Can you
it's-
unlock them
it's-
eventually?
You can unlock it, but
But that
it
goes back to what
takes
Bill
a
was talking about,
long
the
fucking
grind.
time.
The
Like it's
point-
not
Battlefront
it's not even
2
fun.
symptoms.
It's not even fun, in my opinion.
Back to
Well,
Battlefront.
again, your opinion, but
Yeah.
I still
Yeah.
have a decent time playing the online races. Like sloppy as they are, there's just something about playing them that I get
Well,
into a sort of
that's the
zen-like
thing.
mode.
The game is fine. It's got really nothing to do with the core like gameplay. It's just that you'll be playing a lot more of it, a whole lot more,
Just
too much
just
more.
get a
Crowd
simple
unlocking
skin
things.
for like Coco or something. I'd have to play for like, and it's not even one of those things that you can even buy with a microtransaction. Some of it,
Well, it's nice when you have
there's
5
certain
races
things.
and unlock something.
It's certain
Like-
things where they force you to grind the game for hours and hours just to get like
Or
a
pay.
skin, it's just not fun. Like I
Yeah,
don't like it.
I guess
it
part
doesn't
of the
feel
thing-
rewarding.
called-
It just feels like I'm
Like you
just
feel
playing the
you-
game to play the game instead of playing the game to
Yeah,
have
I feel
fun
that part
with the
of
game.
it comes from the fact that CTR made me a little selective about what I buy to the point where okay, like I know there's a general impulse that when there's limited time content, you got to get everything.
Yeah.
But but I think the wise point is what you should start with is the stuff that you want to get. That way, if you decide, okay, that's it, I'm done, it's like you haven't wasted coins on anything bad.
Yeah, but then
Yes,
there's even the
I-
things going through the tiers of the. If no one
I
knows
get
how
what
this
Jack's
works, it's
saying.
basically like when you start the Grand Prix, they give you like you have to hit a certain amount of nitro, which you have to get the nitro by doing
It's- all right,
challenges
Here,
like
no, I got a
daily,
good way to
weekly,
explain
and
this.
like
it's a battle pass. It's a battle pass, but it's free. It's just built around this battle pass.
But that part is not what I'm talking about. The part that
Well,
I'm
that's the
talking
entire
about,
system.
the part
Because
that
you
I'm
do challenges and everything.
the part that I am talking about are the items that are specific to those challenges, the ones that you can't even purchase
Oh
in the
yeah, you're
pit
right. I
stop.
totally forgot about that.
That
Well, yeah,
is
but that's
that is
still like a
another
battle
part.
pass.
Okay,
That is
true.
another
If,
part of it that, like, even though you
I don't know about
don't
that.
even have the option to purchase it
I
with
mean, at least
money,
until the end of the
it's
season,
it's the
because
fact
you
that
know.
it's the fact that it takes like several weeks to a month, like the entire Grand Prix, just to hit the final like tier of the final item that you can only get through going through all of the challenges and stuff.
Who could play that game for that long?
Exactly.
Apparently, I can.
Like I literally only did the first one because
the Jack.
I literally only went through that with the first one because it was such a it ruined the fun of the game for me, and I can understand if someone else would disagree. But
After 5 races, I'm over it.
There's a difference between going through and doing challenges that are like fun and like just are like not super tedious to do, but most of the challenges are incredibly tedious to do. Most of them you have to go out of your way to do them. Like there's certain challenges where it's like, oh, go through and win on the final lap of this race by driving the entire lap backwards. Like, who in their right fucking mind?
Yeah, I'm not dealing with that bullshit.
Like, and it doesn't even feel that worth it with the amount of nitro that you get for it.
And the challenges, not everyone's this in like the time trial garbage that they have. Beat your best
beat
time.
your best time, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Ask a world record holder to beat his best time and see how he reacts.
Exactly.
I was like, crap. I mean, then again, I dealt with that a little bit because Bill.
I mean, I dealt with it too. But at a certain point, I was just like, dude, fuck this. Like, I'm not beating my time in Ruse Tubes for the 5th time because of some goddamn challenge that ain't gonna be worth it.
Yeah.
Oh my lord.
It should have been beat
That's what somebody Alyssa was saying. That she slows down so that she can still do those challenges.
Yeah, but I said at a certain point, I said, fuck it. I just want to get my best times. Yeah. I don't want to feel like I'm gimping myself just to do a challenge later.
It's very much that, like, us as like content creators, we have a much like we're just like we don't have the time to put in like us like our entire shtick is about like getting 100% on like everything because then like we have to devote that time. We are forced to.
With the amount of time that I have just put in just this week into not only streaming but also like editing, it's like I don't. And I'm not trying to sit here and be like, oh, I'm crying, cry me a river type thing. But it's like most people who are going to be able to do all of that grinding and all of that shit. And there's even an exclusive decal that you can get in the game for being in the top 5% on the leaderboards.
Which, pro tip, if you want that, the Switch version is the easiest one to get.
I have only done the first Grand Prix. I've only done one of the top 5% things, which I didn't even feel accomplished for it. I was just like, thank fuck it's over. Like I'm just saying, for me personally, like I don't have the amount of time. Almost no one has the amount of time to go through and do all of that shit and get everything.
They know that. That's why they
added the microtransactions. Is my point.
Or you can grind it out if you're 9 years old.
It's not even like.
But then there's still, but then that still comes back to there's still certain things that they still force you to grind, which again doesn't make sense to me.
Technically, you know the thing about the nitro fill-up at the end, right?
I just think that the game in itself, and Jack, I'm not ignoring your point, I just want to say this first. the game itself is so built upon the grind for either you grind for this thing and then pay for this thing, or you just grind for all of it, but you still have to do that grind. Like, there's so much time and effort involved into getting everything unlocked in that game that I can't even find the time, nor do I really even want to play it anymore, because I've played it so much already that I'm just kind of over it.
So I'm a bit curious now, since we've been kind of on this subject about like talking about microtransactions and how like overall we hate them if they're a core part of the game. So my kind of question that I'm kind of interested in is that, like, if y'all could like make a game, would you include microtransactions?
Nope.
No.
Like,
The
and if it
the
was
only
if it was
the
a
only
free to play
thing
game, if it
Free
was
to
a
play
free to play
game.
Well,
game,
that's totally different. Free to play has to have that.
No,
Some do,
like,
because that's
here,
the
Free
Craig,
only
to
way
did-
play,
they make money.
not pay to
So
win.
let
That's the
me
thing.
finish
with Crash
asking my
Team
question
Racing
here.
before
Go ahead,
before
Craig.
before
Yeah.
before he goes
Yeah,
on.
go ahead, Billy.
This Crash Team Racing game is $40. It's not a free to play game,
Mm-hmm.
and it still
It's
has these
$50. It's
microtransactions.
$50 if you pay for the collector's edition.
It actually,
I did.
the collector's edition,
I didn't pay for that. No.
the collector's edition is $60, and
I
the
don't have it either.
and the nitrous
mad I bought
oxide
a
edition,
digital.
the version that I bought, was $80.
Yikes.
So
The
I
Fuck.
paid
$80
$80
for CTR.
because it was the only copy available for
Oh, that's
PS4.
right. You did have it. Yeah, didn't you had a few days of like, God damn it, I need to get.
But
remember that.
but I went to GameStop and I got the game because it was their only copy left, and it was $80. I got some pretty cool pins out of it, but like, and some skins and some characters early.
But then again, are they the really good characters? I mean, come on.
Like, it's
Friggin'
Zam, and Nitrous Oxide, and then that's it. Zem and Zam are the most disgusting characters. I wish they weren't even in the game. But like, I don't feel like a lot of the stuff that they've even been adding to the game is even that good or that worth it to play.
Nitro Squad notwithstanding, or
Yeah, well, that's the only thing I can think of is for the first Grand Prix they had, because there was these characters in the original game who, anytime you won one of the trophies, they would be there at the winner's circle, like just posing or whatever. Then they turned them into playable characters for the new game. That was pretty cool, but all the other stuff that they've added after that, I just don't really care for it. It's all characters where I'm just like, why are they adding these to the game? These are all like the shitty games they're taking these things from.
Well, that's a whole different argument about, like, you know, what potential they have. But again, if you think that, like, I guess it's good they got the best ones out of the way first, so that later on, if you decide, you know what, you're throwing in the towel, you aren't going to feel so bad about
But
missing out.
I was so done with the game. I didn't even get any of the Spyro character. Like, the only character I unlocked was Spyro himself, and that was it.
Like, fuck it.
That was the point of which I was done with the game. But before I go on another rant, Craig, if you would like to continue your question, I apologize.
Like, so say like you're like an indie developer and you're making like the next top tier fucking free to play game that's going to be coming out, and you want to implement some form of microtransaction. In what way, like, would you go about it with the type of style of game that you want?
Cosmetic only, and then they make the game.
Yeah, and here's what I'd say. Make it so that you can choose what you want. Again, the reason I'm defending Crash Team Racing is because you have the option of choice. I mean, the rotation, like the daily rotation's kind of crap, but
It almost
know,
seems like an illusion of choice, though.
Yeah.
but
Here's the thing. You made the choice to buy the game, and when you bought the game, were there microtransactions? Nope. There was none of them.
See, I wouldn't. Craig,
that's the issue.
to add on to your thing, I wouldn't be so upset about Crash Team Racing's microtransactions if it was a free game, but it's not. Like, if it's a free game, like Fortnite or Realm Royale or PUBG, I'm okay with those games having microtransactions because they're free
as long as they're not pay to win.
It's like,
and they're all only cosmetic.
Exactly.
yeah.
And like, so for example, like Chromecha was mentioning, like the Overwatch like loot box system. Like, for me, like I have put like the last time I checked, I put like maybe 800 hours on Overwatch alone, and that's with the majority of it in the competitive season.
Mm-hmm.
And currently, Overwatch is like, I want to say like $35 or something like that. It's $40
Yeah.
for the Legendary Edition, $20 for the base game.
Yeah.
And,
$20 now?
like,
Wow.
Yeah, $20, and it's like for
This is
me,
Overwatch?
Yeah.
for Overwatch. Like,
Like,
and
you have to play
I've
at
been
Blizzard?
playing it enough that like I have a majority of everything just from like earning loot boxes, that like I don't ever have to worry about not getting what I want because I have enough in-game coins to purchase whatever.
Honestly,
like
your
with
dedication with Overwatch is like my dedication with CTR. So
Yeah.
I guess we
and-
all
Craig's
like
a
what we
beast
like.
at
and-
Overwatch.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
you
for
really
me, it's
though,
just,
but-
like, and for me, it's just like, I wish instead of like buying loot boxes, you buy currency to buy loot boxes. That's what I
That
wish, because then
I
you could use that
feel-
currency to also buy skins.
Yeah, I think that
Can
would
you
have just
earn
made
that
it a
currency? I
lot
think you should
better.
be able to earn.
You
can
don't
earn
earn
it.
that
That you
currency
see-
unless
when
you
you see
unlock
that
it from
currency,
another
like,
loot
oh,
box.
Like that currency that's like, oh, this is the currency that's in game. This is the currency that you can buy with real money. And this is all the shit you can buy with that buy with real money currency, but you can't earn that. Sorry.
See,
Yeah,
the battle pass
For
thing though,
free
that
to
a
play
lot of
games, that's fine.
that a lot of free to play games have been implementing the battle pass thing. I think that's a
Yeah.
really good way, a really nice way of doing microtransactions, because it gives you the
Yeah.
option to unlock more things for like a
And-
set price, and then you can also check out the in-game store, and then the in-game store will still have a
Well, it's
rotation of
transparency.
things that you can buy. I just wish that it wasn't a rotation of items, but that it was like every
Like-
item available you could buy for a certain amount of coins or
Like, I
something
want to say
that.
Realms, like battle pass system. I like Realms battle pass system because
It's
like
transparent.
it allows you to like, you buy it, but it allows you to like feel accomplished that like, hey, you reached level 50, you get the big,
Yeah.
what is it, the alpaca mount this time?
Yeah. Well, Ned's a new one now, but
Oh,
that's
yeah,
the
there's
thing.
a
If
new
you're at
one
level
with this.
30
True.
without the battle pass, if you buy the battle pass at level 30, you get all that shit that you would have unlocked.
Yeah,
It's
that's
not
what
like,
that's
oh,
what
you
I did
missed
with the
out
battle
Which is a
pass
really
on the
nice
last
feature.
one.
Yeah.
That's and it's transparent. You know what you're gonna get. Like, I don't know.
If I were to make a free to play game, that's what it would. That's the kind of system that it would be.
Yeah,
For
it's
sure,
not pay to
for
win.
sure.
It's all kind of like shit.
Yeah, but to me that's fine when it's a free to play game. It's just when you pay up front already, and then there's those same kinds of mechanics. That's where I'm kind of like, this is not cool.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. I guess
That's
the
fair.
only thing I could really say, like, I guess anymore with CTR, all I mostly do is just think about, it could have been worse. And dare I say that in terms of kart racers, there is one that has actually been really bad when it comes to progression, even though it is a free to play game. I'm, of course, talking about the recently released Mario Kart Tour.
Oh, Mario Kart Tour.
Yeah,
we can bring up Mario Kart Tour on the next episode, because we've been going for a while. We were in the middle of a conversation when we hit the 2-hour mark. It's 2 hours and like almost 30 minutes at this
Yeah,
point.
we're gonna have to shave out a lot of stuff.
That's all right. It was good. I think it was
Shave
good.
out the
So
controversial
I'm gonna
parts.
start wrapping up this podcast.
Do it up.
by asking each
Send
of you
us off, baby.
by asking each of you a single question. We don't have any questions from the Discord this time, I believe. So I will
Hell
probably
no.
just be making all
Probably
of
has
these up
something to do with the fact that
I-
we haven't done a podcast in a pretty decent
in
amount of
like
time.
over a month.
Like a
Yes,
month,
I know.
yeah.
It's the last one was in July when we recorded it. July 3rd, 23rd, my bad, is when we recorded the last one. Today is October 5th. So
Dang.
I fucked up a lot.
Life got
I put
busy.
that on myself because I am the host of this podcast. To be honest.
I'll forgive you, Bill.
So I kind of have to think of these questions off the top of my head, but I always want to try and end the podcast with at least one question for each individual person here. Pika isn't here anymore, sadly, so I can't ask him a question about what Pokemon does he want to bang. But I could ask
Ain't that a
Jack
question?
a similar question. Of
All right.
I'm very curious.
Jack, which retro or retro styled video game character do you think is the most attractive?
This is a really
You could give a
tough
series.
question.
You could give a series of answers if you don't know if there's a singular one. So, like Shantae, for example, could be
I
one
mean,
of the
okay,
answers.
I know that, Shantae would be the obvious one, but I don't know. She seems to go more of the cute style rather than the like
If
whoa, wowie,
if you
attractive
guys don't know
look.
what Shantae is, I would just suggest looking up Shantae on Google Images and probably, hopefully, not finding Rule 34.
Basically, imagine her with the outfit of Jasmine from Aladdin, except she's got a long purple ponytail, and she uses said ponytail to whip enemies, and it's awesome.
Shantae is a great game.
Oh,
I will
word.
say, 100%.
But let's see. I mean, again, I could also mention someone like Mai Shiranui from King of Fighters and Fatal Fury.
You're gonna have to type that out for me so I can put this image in an image on Google Images
Oh,
and
this
post.
character, yeah.
Oh man.
MAI space SHIRA.
I said type it out for me for.
Oh,
I type in MAI and the first thing that comes up is a
Oh.
Mai Tai. I swear to God.
Hang on, let me just put it in the group chat.
Yeah, just put it in the podcast chat.
Okay, there we go.
I'll have to put that in my notes for
I
later.
mean, you can probably just look up King of Fighters MAI.
Actually, I'm gonna do a mark.
Yeah.
I forgot. I have a marker
Yeah,
thing
I
set
remember
up
this character.
for the recording stuff, and I've been forgetting to do that this whole time. So I just put in a marker in right now. So hopefully that works properly. Holy shiitake mushrooms. Okay, so I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Some of this
Alright.
cosplay is definitely fire.
Yeah.
I will say that much.
Have you made any disclaimers about mature
Some of this
content on this channel
cosplay
yet?
is fire.
I mean the YouTube channel is also intended for mature audiences only. If you're under the age of 18, what the fuck are you doing here?
Get out!
I will not be held legally liable for anyone under the age of 18. Parents,
Anyone's
watch
mother
your
yelling at them.
fucking kids.
Yeah.
First of all, you stupid motherfuckers.
Actually, wait a second. I mean, mine might be cool, but let's not forget the actual most attractive video game character of all time.
Oh dear God.
Babs Bunny.
Wario!
Wario.
Come on, you gotta love that guy. He's just big and strong. He goes wah. He's
He's like the
nice
Danny DeVito of
mustache.
sexy.
He is a true master of all. Wario for the new
Go.
generation. And for
Go.
everyone else, there's
Go.
also Waluigi, who is equally as attractive but in his own different way.
Yeah, Waluigi, honorable mention. Shout out to Waluigi.
Yep.
Bless up
These
Too
two are the
Waluigi.
best.
mustaches in the mix.
Can we Can we one thing? Can Nintendo just make a co-op game with those two as the characters? That like it would sell like hotcakes. I
Be
just
like
want to say
Goof
that.
Troop, but for
Goof Troop.
Wario and
They call
Waluigi.
it Wa Troop.
The War Troop.
It would be perfect. So yes, there you go. Wario wins it.
All right, Wario, #1 hottest character
Wario it is.
in the history of video games, according to Jack. So, John, I have a question for you. And I'm
Okay.
still thinking of these on the fly. Out of all of the random streams that you've popped into under just chatting to like try and like skulk around and find someone who's breaking TOS, which one has stood out the most to you?
Good question.
I still think it's this. All right. It's probably the one that was with 2 cameras. Or you know what? Here I'll put a general. You know what? Every time this shocks me is when I find one that says sub for snap.
Oh, is that why you
Oh, no,
sometimes
actually-
make your title ironically sub for Snap or some
Yeah,
shit like
yeah.
that?
One I found was someone has their channel on sub only mode, like sub only chat permanently.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
I've never seen that.
I've
in my
only ever
life.
seen that in partner streams where there's like 20,000
just
people
sad.
watching.
Well, like, okay, so for
Another. Sorry.
that, I want to say it's like it's mostly because they deal with a lot of trolls, and
You
Yeah.
can still
Trolls,
put that
like-
on. You can still put
No,
that
no,
on
I'm not
followers
talking
only
about a
mode.
partner. I'm talking about not even an affiliate. I don't think. No, they were
What?
affiliate. Stupid idiot me. Ignore me. They were small. The point is, they were a small streamer. They weren't a partner or anything. I think I had more followers than them, but that's just you know what I mean. They
Yeah.
weren't big. They
Yeah.
weren't huge.
That is,
So
that is
the entire
confusing.
time, I was just like, how are you gonna grow? How do
Yeah.
you expect anyone to watch you?
I'll
When
pay
the
to watch
moment they
someone
come
I
into
can't
their,
watch
the
unless I
moment you
pay.
come into their
I will-
stream,
I have no
You
idea what's
can't
going on
even-
in this stream, but
I will say
Oh,
that
man.
if it's a channel
That's
that's
so
like
dumb.
really inappropriate and it's sub only, that could honestly be like a brilliant way to trick people. It's like, oh, you're trying to look at something that isn't safe for work. Well, you must subscribe so the whole world knows about it.
Dude,
You
what if
will
the
feel
what if they
shame.
did sub only streams though, not just sub only chat? That would be even more fucked up.
Yeah,
Oh,
sub only
so-
streams. That's what I mean. It's like
Dude,
you
I found someone
have
today.
to live with your consequence.
What are you
that
saying,
one
John?
upped I found someone today that one upped all the people who stream movies by making all those people, their chat and everything was open, but I found someone who did a sub only stream for that, and I was like, now that is the next step. That is some next
That's
level
fucking
stuff.
next level for sure.
that is.
Avoiding licenses since 2000 something.
Don't mind me.
Well, they're not avoiding anything because you get a 5-minute preview of the stream.
I just want to say, before we move on, Jordan, why did you just post this image?
My roommate just
This
sent
is
it to me. I
incredible
thought it was
image.
funny.
Okay.
This is
I just-
incredible. I'm saving this.
That's fucking Dwayne the Rock Johnson and Kevin Hart as
Look at
Nappa
his
and
mustache.
Vegeta. I just
Okay. Now I have
that
to
is
ask,
incredible.
is this a freaking edit of the Jumanji movie? Like the
Probably.
recent one?
Most
Probably.
likely.
Like,
Yeah, look
okay.
at that. Look at that gray. There's
That's the
that gray
only-
stubble. That's recent.
That's the only film I know of that stars those two together, but
Ah,
still,
criminal
that is...
no, Central Intelligence.
Yeah, Central Intelligence.
What if-
That's an
the
alright
newest
film.
Jumanji film.
Okay, I guess I
Well,
just
we
don't
already mentioned
watch
that
a lot
one.
of films.
Yeah.
Neither do
Sorry.
I, but you know.
Yeah. This is a good
Um,
image.
So
So I'm trying to think of another question because again I'm thinking of these off the top of my head.
Right.
Craig, you came in the middle of the podcast.
Yeah.
How is the podcast experience for you?
It's good. It's interesting. I didn't talk a lot because I generally I'm a quiet person in general in real life. I like listening to people and hearing other people's opinions, so it's rather
Oh,
fascinating.
I totally I'm the exact same way. I
Trust
guess it's
me.
more of a little different for me when this is like technically speaking my content, even though it's a collective group of people
This is
helping me
your
with this.
podcast,
And,
Bill.
yeah.
This is
Yeah.
your podcast.
I mean,
Yeah,
I
like-
am the
and-
host. I am the hostess with the mostest, but you know.
Fair.
And for
Like,
me, it's fascinating because like we had like a lot of interesting points that were brought up, and that like we had people on both sides of different things.
That's
like,
what's
like,
nice.
for example, and so it's like we understand that like where the other side is coming from, and then we try and find mutual ground.
The
for
biggest
Yeah.
thing that we need to work on as a group, we all keep talking over each other, and I am totally guilty of this myself, but we keep
It wasn't
talking.
too bad.
It's not
I
too
mean,
bad, but it's
I
still
think that's gonna happen regardless, because if no one's talking, like if someone's talking for too long, like which will happen, and it's not
Yeah.
a problem, it's just how it happens. Someone's gotta talk over the person, otherwise, we're not gonna move forward.
I know.
I
I
agree.
just don't want three
kinda-
people
yeah.
talking at the same time repeatedly. Like when we were
I
in
mean, we're
some
not
certain
all-
discussions, it was like
yeah.
We're not all synced up in our minds to where, because most of the time it's when like we're all trying to respond to one person at the same time. Like that's just gonna happen.
yeah,
I
that's
feel.
just gonna.
Of course.
I understand that. I'm
I
just
think it went
saying.
very
Yeah.
well.
And one
Yeah.
thing for me, I'd say, if I ever go silent for some times, it's usually just because I'm sitting back and observing the conversations. No, isn't much of a way for me to fit in myself at the time, so I just let others take it from here.
I mean, John. I almost said that like a Southern man, but John kind of did that in the beginning of the recording because of the stuff that we were talking about. You know, the things that he felt like he couldn't.
Yeah, John was like, "I hate these subjects. Fuck off."
Well, it's not that. It's just like I don't have a Switch. I didn't have anything to say. Like I haven't had any experience with anything you guys talked about, pretty much. So I was just like, I'll just
Which
be quiet.
I fully understand, but it's. I
was
think
good. It was good.
at the same time, I think like. I kind of agree with Craig, where it is definitely sometimes really nice to just sit back and observe a conversation.
You mean agree with me, because that's what I said.
Well, I mean,
I
you were
agree
both
with both
saying
of you.
the same thing is what I'm really
Yeah.
getting at, but
Okay,
like
well, that's fair.
I don't know. I've always been
Listen. We're all beautiful. We can just shut up now.
You're all breathtaking.
No, you're
Aw.
breathtaking.
Exactly.
Of course, thanks.
Anyway.
And I'm trying to think of a question for Jordan. Oh boy.
No, before you do that, like,
I'm an open book.
You're an
I
open
do
book.
agree. How about I come up with a question? It'll be like something ridiculous and wild.
Well, I was gonna say, be like, after I come up with all the questions, each of you can ask me a question, because I can't ask
Yeah.
myself a question. But
Look inside yourself, Bill. Ask yourself something.
ask yourself,
honest-
the,
be honest
look
with yourself
inward
when you
and
ask
ask
yourself
yourself
that
the real
question.
questions. Who are you, and what do you want? I really hope someone gets that reference, please.
Got nothing.
Avatar: The Last Airbender. Hello,
Oh,
Uncle
okay.
Iroh.
Great
I was
show.
never gonna get that.
Uncle Iroh, and like he was like, you know,
Yeah, I got it now. As
Yelling
soon
at
as you mentioned
Zuko.
it, I got it.
great.
Yeah.
Am I
It's
that
good,
awkward
it's
that I don't get a question?
No, I'm just trying to think what's a good question to ask, because technically I could ask you the same question I asked Craig, but that would be pretty dumb. So
We're just not all drunk enough right now.
I'd fuck a lick a tongue if I was gonna fuck a Pokemon.
Oh,
Alright.
Jesus.
I mean,
Oh,
I oh my goodness. I don't know if I want to show that.
Oh
No,
my
do not, please.
God.
I just picked a random one.
He's just got that big tongue action.
Ugh.
Oh,
Just
dude,
sliding
I
down
did
that
that
butthole,
again.
baby.
No.
Oh,
You're welcome.
oh, I think I'm gonna be sick.
Yeah.
Jordan, this is about to be the most alcoholic question because I feel like I should ask it at
lay it
least
on
one
me.
alcoholic question. Other than whiskey, because I know you're a whiskey guy,
Yeah.
what's your favorite kind of alcohol? Or, like, drink in general? Other than,
Like
a whiskey
alcoholic?
and Coke. Yeah, like, alcoholic. Or even if non-alcoholic, if you want to go that route. I don't fucking care.
Non-alcoholic. I'm a chocolate milk connoisseur.
Oh my god, we're best friends.
I love chocolate milk, dude.
Good taste. Chocolate milk is really good.
Strawberry milk,
because-
get that shit out of here. Chocolate's
Get
where
that
it's at.
shit out of my face.
Hey.
Fucking get your pink milk. Where's the Star Wars? Get that shit out of here.
Almond milk, fuck out of
I
here.
want
Give me
that
some
fucking
chalky
green
milk.
dude.
Blue
I
milk.
want that mint, that fucking
Blue
mint
milk.
shit.
Oh no.
The Star Wars blue milk. Let's all go to Galaxy's Edge and find the blue milk
Remember
in Disney
that
World.
giant alien thing where the blue milk is milked from? Oh boy. The only reason I found that scene funny was just because I related it to a certain Vine Sauce episode.
Gotta love some vine sauce.
Fine sauce.
Well, if any of you guys have a question for me, please go right ahead.
Yeah,
I'm
I have
all
a
ears.
question.
I do too, but you go first.
John, you go
Bill,
first.
Why don't you love me?
Well, first of all, John, I don't swing that way.
I mean,
There's nothing sexual about this, Bill.
it's I don't want you to bring it to that round. It was just-
Oh my lord.
Jack, thank
Well,
you.
my question for
go
you,
ahead.
which is basically 1,000% more family friendly, is if there is one game that you want to see ported to the Switch, it could be any game, it could be new or old. What do you want it to be?
God, Jack loves the Switch.
Fuck. That's
I
tough.
think it's a very good system.
I agree with you.
Can I say two answers?
Yes.
They're both N64 games, but Banjo-Kazooie and Banjo-Tooie.
Fair enough.
I'd say those are good answers.
Because
And
Banjo is on the Super Smash Bros. Roster now, I do
which
feel
is
like
amazing.
he deserves. Well, they both deserve
A
because
remaster, baby.
Banjo-Kazooie. Not even a remaster, just a port. Like the Xbox Live ports just get moved over to the Switch, basically. That's really all I'm asking for. It would be either that or a port of Super Mario 64 on the Switch. So I've never played Super Mario 64.
That's fair. How about the rest of you? Would you agree, or do you have any other answers?
I don't own a Switch,
For the
so
for the Switch, as far as a handheld game, that's a toughie. I don't know. I really don't know. I would have to think about that for a while.
Well, I know what I would say. I'll choose an old arcade game just because Sunset Riders.
Sunset
Konami,
Riders? Oh,
please
man.
give us Sunset Riders on a modern console. Don't do like a reboot type thing. If it's going to be like Contra Rogue Core was, it's not going to be very good. Just give us the old classic Sunset Riders, 4-player action. We'll be happy.
In a world of dark and gritty reboots,
well, I was about to say,
one
like,
company will completely destroy all of their franchises.
One company, one mission.
Make
To
as little
save.
money as possible.
To save, I mean destroy.
Rest in
the
peace,
world.
Silent Hills.
Oh,
yeah.
oh. Moment
Rest
of
in peace,
silence.
I
Rare.
will never forgetty. Rest in spaghetti.
Rareware, rest in peace.
Yeah,
Well, they may have
Rareware
some
is
playback.
dead. I'm sorry, Microsoft, that you just,
They got fucked on that
you,
one.
you literally, it was like you had the child, and then you're just like, hey, how late can we do an abortion?
they bought the child and they fucked it. They ruined that child.
I don't even think it was I think they just made bad games. I mean, there was no reason they needed to make bad games. They just started making bad games.
All the people they paid retired. They were like, "Yeah, we don't ever have to work again because $500 million, million, yeah,
Yeah.
I just
I got one question.
okay. Well, I was about to say something, but then
Yeah.
I lost it. So you go right ahead.
If you and this is mostly towards Billy, but I'm kind of interested in what everyone else has to say. If you could live in any video game universe, which would it be?
Oh, that's a great
Mm.
question.
Depends. Would I be myself as I currently am,
You would be,
or would I be transformed into something that would be a part of the world?
you would be transformed into something that's part of the world.
Okay, so no brainer here, Spyro.
You want to be a dragon?
That's
Dude,
whimsical.
I would like to be Spyro's crippled best friend. That's what I would want to be. Be the only dragon in a wheelchair, or
I don't
using
even
like
see you have like a wheelchair. You just have like tiny wings.
tiny wings.
Yeah.
Hey, get the wheels and you're fast as fuck. That's like your perk.
You just like turn around and like spit out fires. So
you
you
use the fire from my own body to propel me. Oh my
Yeah.
lord!
You have stronger fire as balance.
It's called a fart, Bill.
Because characters. Of all the jokes, this is the one that makes me laugh the most. I have a
Oh,
5-year-old
we
sense
are
of
we are
humor.
man children. That's what we are.
Men don't grow up; they grow older. Okay.
Oh man, I will say, quick disclaimer: I don't actually use a wheelchair like every day. So I mean, I can walk. It's just I walk badly.
I think I knew that. I like when you tell me that you got shit face and you were like, "God damn it, it was rough."
Dude, I literally no, I literally got so shit faced that I had to have my dad and my cousin's boyfriend help me up these stairs so that I could sleep on this couch that we were sleeping on. Well, that I was sleeping on at my aunt's house, and as my dad was helping me up, because my dad was in front of me, pulling me upwards, and my cousin's boyfriend was like behind me, like just kind of making sure that I didn't fall backwards. But at a certain point on like the 5th step, I just ended up like shouldering my dad like really hard, and he fell, and I just fucking laughed so hard. But then he dusts himself off and pulls me up, and then they sit me on the couch, and I'm just kind of sitting there, and I lay down, and I just puke on myself.
Oh.
And
can we get hip hip hooray for Bill?
As the only time, the first and only
Hooray,
time
I
had ever fucking thrown up because of alcohol, too much alcohol. Never again. That was not a fun night. I barely remembered any of it other than that part.
It's a good story though.
Dude, yeah. I had like 8 shots of whiskey, like 5 beers, I think. So much more than I normally drink, at least in terms of the
what is that
liqueur.
Children cheering sound that I heard?
Was that Jordan's soundboard?
I don't know what you're talking about.
I was about to say, it sounds like the fucking like Viva Pinata fucking cheer.
That sounds like the cheer at the end of the Five Nights at Freddy's night.
Yeah, when the time's up and it's like, yay, you didn't die.
Basically. Does anyone else have any more questions?
You still haven't
Not a
answered
question,
mine.
but an-
Not really.
Well,
Not
I
a question,
mean,
but an answer.
Why don't you
but-
love John Bill?
John.
I just wanted to
I'm
say
gonna
something
be
about
very
the worlds to live in.
Yeah.
okay.
go
Well,
ahead.
let me be very upfront with John real quick. John, you're a great guy, and you're like really cool, dude. I love you, brother.
You guys
I
gonna make
win.
out or what?
I did it.
We did it, Reddit. I showed emotion instead of supreme angst for the first time.
Proud of you, Billy. We've
Character
made some real
development.
headway today.
Dude, my character arc's gonna be so great next season.
In some ways, it'll be a lot like season 1.
It'll be a lot like season 1, except I won't be as depressed.
I was just thinking of Rick and Morty. Rick and Morty next month.
Oh yeah, and actually, since we talked about those freaking limited edition items, I'm surprised we didn't go with the obvious one.
The Szechuan sauce, Morty.
The Szechuan sauce.
Oh god.
No joke. I actually think that stuff's pretty good.
I didn't get to try it, so I don't really fucking care.
I don't
had-
remember. I was living in France when that happened.
You lived in
Yeah.
France? That's dope.
Yeah.
We could probably go more into stuff like that on the next podcast. if
Bill's like, we need to get the
Maybe.
fuck out of
Dude, it's almost been 3 hours, boys, so I can't.
Yeah,
here.
we
This
gotta
is-
trim this stuff down. So
Yeah,
I guess
I gotta feed these cats.
I can't go on for any longer. I'm sorry
You
about
don't
how
feed the
long this
beef.
podcast is, but there's
I
probably
think
not
we win.
much to
Win
cut
away.
out either, which is the hard part. But yeah, I think we're pretty much done, right?
I think so.
I got nothing
Yeah.
else.
What do you think, Hayes?
hope you could think of stuff. Thank you for listening to my contributions. I know you may not have agreed with everything, most likely the Crash Team Racing stuff, but
Well,
you know what?
how is anyone supposed to agree on anything? Like everything for real? That's what I mean.
Here,
It'd
I
be
got
very-
something we
it'd
can
be very
all agree
boring.
on right now. We
The
are
fact that
all
this
trash.
podcast is going on for too long.
Yes.
Yeah.
We are
are
all trash.
Hey, as
We're
long as you're a
absolute
trash can,
garbage.
not
Dude, I'm a trash can. I'm not a trash can't.
damn right. I like your head. I like where your head's at.
Exactly.
For some reason, my head was in that one very vague moment of positivity.
That one vague dude, you fucking like your aura is nothing but positivity.
Excuse me?
Yeah.
Fuck up.
What do you mean? That I gotta be honest.
Nah.
I am
Nah.
the human. No, I am the
Nah.
human embodiment of sadness and depression.
And yet,
Yeah,
for some
but you
still
still boost people
like-
up, therefore you're positive.
Yeah, I boost
Yeah,
other
what
people. I
is
just
that?
can't boost myself.
Stand on mountain.
Oh my god, I can't believe you brought that up. That is such a long-standing joke from our fucking the fucking human fall flat
God.
bullshit. Raise me up.
I need to get that game. I honestly need to get that
Oh
game
my
sometime.
lord.
Bill and I
Look.
like to make love in that game.
Oh yeah, we could talk about that on the next podcast.
All right.
Yeah.
See you guys
Woo!
later.
goodbye, everyone.
Bill just
Don't forget
ended
to
the
subscribe.
podcast for the
Yo.
5th time.
Yo, sixth time because I need to do the outro.
Been
thank you
45 minutes
guys.
since you tried to end this.
Yeah, it literally has been. All right, so
Anyway, let's go.
this is the HDMI Don't Fucking Know podcast, and we're now going back to your regularly scheduled program.